Well, folks, you found it. The most unprofessional little podcast there ever was. Ain't much else to say. Just sit back, sip on some whiskey, and be entertained. Because the Whiskey Bros are about to make love to your ears.
Wow.
Yeah, we had
indeed.
We had to get a pre-recording of that for some reason.
The most unprofessional.
I mean, it's the only second time I've heard it, and I still love it.
Yeah, we had to. We botched the other recording for some reason. It's in the trash somewhere, so we had to make do with a new one. But,
Okay, it happens.
But the host that we hired, or the narrator we hired
you
last
want to
time.
hear something real funny?
Yes.
That record is not red.
Are you freaking kidding me?
What?
Just go with it.
Yeah, you didn't tell me to start, bro.
We didn't. Just go with it. We'll have to punch in. I'll figure it out. So here
You
we
mean
are.
they just missed a whole hour of conversation
A whole
because you
hour.
didn't hit the
I know.
record
I know.
button?
That's recording. The video is not. It is now. So this is
What
episode
the hell?
105.
105. Boom.
You don't even have to put that up there.
No, I want people to
can
look
just
at it.
We told you we're unprofessional.
Unprofessional.
So lower your expectations when you're listening to the Whiskey Bros.
That's right.
But raise your expectations for the guests that we have tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Husband and wife, entrepreneurs, enterprises. I don't even know what you want to call it, but Danny Taylor and DeAnn Taylor. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Not related to...
Not. We figured this out
Keith
before
Taylor.
the show.
Yeah, there's no
Well,
co-tailoring going on.
well, not that we know of anyway.
Yeah.
Could be, but not that we know of.
Yeah.
There are.
We did figure out the town of Decatur's named after us.
That's right.
Wait,
That's right.
I thought it was you claiming that honor.
Well, it is me, but they can take it too.
Yeah, he's going to have to share it.
So
We'll
maybe
share.
there is some co-tailoring
It
going
could be.
on.
There is a ton of Taylors in Wise County.
That is a little bit of trip. Yeah,
Ton
there
of
are-
Taylors. Podcast show.
What's the Taylors are to Decatur as the Gentrys are to Paradise,
Exactly.
and I'm related to the Gentry clans. Not to clans probably can't use that.
Yeah, I don't know if you can use that no more.
Gentry family.
There you go.
Yeah, you can't use that. That's like rich Southern white folk.
Yeah.
We're not those people. We're not
We're not
rich Southern.
gentrified.
We're white. We're not
Yep.
rich and Southern.
Yeah.
Maybe we're Southern and white, but not rich.
Not rich.
So
We're not all doctors here.
when I
that's
heard
right.
y'all were coming on the podcast, I got real excited. And because I figured out like the only thing I want to come of tonight's episode
Okay.
is it's like I want y'all to tell me what the meaning of life is.
Well, then we just scrap all these notes.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
Shut
shit.
it down.
Okay.
This is gonna
Close
be-
them out.
This is going to be a short podcast.
All right. There he is.
Yeah.
Get
So
to
go
it.
for it. Go.
I told you you're going to need whiskey.
Take off.
Go ahead, Danny. What's the meaning of life?
Hey, I told y'all. Y'all said open book. I said, I warned you.
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead, Dan.
Okay, maybe we'll discourse it a little
Yeah,
while, and,
pon-
and maybe we'll
ponder
get
on
there
that.
I need to think about
by
that.
the end of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
podcast.
It's like remembering
that's-
somebody's name, right?
Right.
Just give it a minute and it'll pop into your head.
I mean, for some reason that's tough, but should we just all have a ready answer for that?
No, I think that's impossible.
Okay.
Yes.
So-
No one even knows.
Yeah.
42.
History, a little history for Decatur. It was formerly named Taylorsville.
Yeah.
And y'all are related to that Taylor of that Taylorsville?
We're going to say we are.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn right.
Yeah. That's the only way we're related.
Yeah.
We're
Exactly.
kin to that Taylor.
But okay, so the Taylors that I'm familiar with have been around in Decatur, Greenwood, Slidell for in eternity. How much can you touch on your family history?
My dad moved here when he was about 20,
Okay.
I believe. Went to DBC College. And
Was it Decatur or Dallas Baptist
Dallas
College?
Baptist
Okay, so it was after the
Yep,
transition.
Yep. And then just kind of sowed his life into Wise County.
And this was your father? Mm-hmm. Okay, so it wasn't too long of a history then.
No.
Where were grandparents and stuff like that
Tennessee.
from? Okay.
Tennessee.
Okay.
His bunch come to Grayson County when he was, I think, 10 years old.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then he ended up over here to go to college and stayed here
Right on. So how did you and DeAnn meet?
on the side of the road.
Yeah.
In paradise.
Let me guess. You were broken down?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
In passing, I was riding with a friend of mine, and here comes DeAnn with her ponytail, slamming on the brakes in her Suzuki Samurai.
Oh, also
Gravy.
also a good lesbian car.
Yeah.
Thank you. But I was not a lesbian, but thank you.
Obviously not.
Very dangerous car. And
Do they still make those?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
Yeah.
No, it's 1,000 wonders I didn't get killed in it.
Yeah.
I did some stupid stuff.
But fun stuff.
Fun, but stupid.
Yeah. You got to learn somehow.
It was that and the Geo Tracker.
Yeah, that Geo
that was
Metro.
dangerous.
Was it the Geo
Tracker?
No, Metro.
Metro was a car.
Really for lesbians.
Tracker. No, that's funny because I think the Tracker is what Lance has.
Okay, so the Tracker is a little off-road. But the Geo Metro was like the subcompact little car.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing, it wasn't for lesbians, it was for morbidly obese people. There was no skinny people driving
drove
a
those?
Geo Metro.
That's
DeAnn,
funny.
what is your maiden name and a little of your family history?
So my maiden name is Tackle.
Okay,
So
Oh, we might be kin then.
I know some tackles.
Yeah.
Graduated with Jamie Tackle, or are you?
yes.
Okay.
All of the tackles around here are kin.
Okay.
Everybody, from Paradise to Bridgeport.
Boyd.
There may be some in
There
Boyd
are.
now. They're like all spread around,
Yep.
but yes. So my dad was Ronnie Tackle, and he had three brothers and a sister. All went to school at Paradise, and then all their cousins lived in Bridgeport, and so yeah, that's.
So you're from Paradise.
I went to school at Paradise my whole life.
Okay. What year did you graduate?
94.
Interesting. Okay. So way before my dad, but still probably a whole different time.
Oh, what a way
Oh.
to throw it under the bus, Chance. Jeez.
Yeah, really.
No, I was thinking back to the antics and stuff my dad talked about doing in Paradise back in those days.
So 1970s in Paradise had to have been the coolest time to be alive,
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah. It was complete chaos and
Oh,
lawlessness.
for real. Yeah, they did it right in the 1970s in Paradise.
Yeah, there was even stories that roped in Kevin Burns into the fray, and yeah, there was a lot of fun stuff that happened in Paradise.
Yeah.
Did you know that all the trophies and different things that they'd accumulated through the years got thrown away about 3 years ago?
Are you serious? Why?
They had an athletic director that I guess didn't think there was any importance to them, and so he just decided he would
Just
trash
scrap the history.
the history of the whole school.
Wow.
So especially my whole generation back, there's no more memorabilia. It all got trashed.
You literally got canceled.
We got canceled.
That's insane.
Did that piss people off?
It pissed people off.
Yeah, why was
Is he still around?
No, my understanding is that one of the coaches that has been around here a really long time basically went dumpster diving and got what he could out. But yeah, it was kind of sad. I mean, like, why
Jeez.
would you do that? I mean, at least call some people and be like, hey, do
Give
y'all
them
want
away.
this stuff? Give this crap to somebody. But I mean, why just trash it, you know?
Yeah. How does he do that without voting?
Yeah.
People getting,
Right.
just one dude can throw all that away?
Yeah, he was a butthole, though.
So
Can we say that on air?
Yes,
Yeah,
no,
we say
Okay.
butthole.
That's tame.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Butthole.
That's tame. That's PG.
Yeah.
We go to NC 17 here.
It's like
Sometimes triple X.
butthole. It's kind of like the mouth, except it's better at holding on to shit.
True.
That's how I view it biologically.
And the butthole rules.
Yes.
Yep.
Sometimes.
So you met on the side of the road.
We did.
How long have you been married now?
31 years in January.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And
Dated probably 3 years before that.
okay.
Yeah, I think we started dating when I was like 16. So.
Ding, ding, ding. Y'all get the award.
Yeah, you were
For
officially
what?
the longest married at the table.
Yep.
Is that
Where
what-
you
Yeah, that
previously-
award.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Is there an award for that? I think it is.
Eternal bliss.
Why do we turn that into an award?
Okay.
You know, like, why is that a thing? It's like, it feels like an accomplishment, but some people have been together a really long time just because they didn't have anything better to do.
We've been together since, I was a kid. I was 16 when we started dating.
Yeah.
So, we've been together forever.
So, like, here's how I knew she was a keeper, though.
Yeah.
So I'd meet her in Decatur every day after school, just about, and she'd go with me to feed cows. And when you pulled up to that first gate with her, when she was with me,
Uh-huh.
and she didn't hesitate. She got out and opened the gate. So I knew she was a keeper.
That's right.
Isn't that something?
That's a pretty good sign.
Okay, so I have a parallel to that to my current wife. She's a big city chick from Chicago, transplanted into Roanoke Trophy Club, that whole area. You know, bougie. That's your people.
She
That's
went
your
from
people.
Yeah.
She hired people to cook her
bougie.
fish. Yeah.
From Yankee to bougie.
So, anyways, one day on a date, I decided, you know what? I'm going to throw this chick for a loop and see what she does. And I went and I drove the rattiest old farm truck that we had, picked her up from her work in Denton, and took her to the movies. She didn't complain once about the truck. So I'm
There
like,
you-
okay.
Yep.
All right. Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, it was a 2007 Dodge.
Yeah,
but
I was
still.
16. I was trying to remember. I was like,
The old gray truck.
Okay, yeah.
It had a hay spike on it, you know, the flatbed, some
Yep.
cow shit, the works, and she didn't complain. So,
There you go.
Was that the last year Dodge actually made a diesel?
no.
Worth
Well,
anything?
okay. Yes, technically. When did Dodge convert to Ram?
I don't know. For sure.
2011, something-ish.
that's-
But you mean
seems
worth
close.
anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got-
their ratio went to shit.
They got
After-
hindered by emissions BS. Just the same as everything.
Oh.
Which we'll probably touch on tonight, I imagine.
Okay.
Because I'm going to guess this is going to be a farming-heavy podcast. Because I've been wanting to talk about that industry with y'all for a while, too.
So the problem with Dodge is what happened. The reason why the engines stopped being so good
Yes.
is because they put a limit on how wide the mirrors could be out. That's when the engines quit being so good.
You've heard that,
That's
right?
when they started sucking.
Every time you fold out a mirror, it's 50 extra horsepower.
That's right.
Oh, where do we go from there?
Whiskey, please.
Okay, so y'all been married 31 years, have lived in Paradise,
Decatur.
Decatur. Oh,
Since
you're
we
in
got
Decatur
married.
now, right? Okay. And when did Paradise become a thing? Because we talked to the mayor of Paradise, and I left that conversation not knowing exactly when Paradise.
By a thing, what do you mean a thing? Like a town?
Yeah,
Like what year was it established?
yeah.
I have no idea. I
Like
know
it's older than you.
like if you
Oh,
want to go back
yeah.
to the Taylorsville days, I think
Yeah.
Paradise
I wasn't
used to be
suggesting
called.
you were old.
Yeah.
I don't
Sure.
know how old you are. 33.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it goes
No,
all
if
the way
you've been
back to-
married 31 years and you.
I'm 49. Let's make it easy.
Okay. I wasn't gonna. Yeah, I was gonna go there. Okay.
Are you
It's
really
old.
49? That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be approaching 50?
It doesn't bother me. It bothered him more than it
Yeah,
bothers
shook
me.
me up a little bit.
How old are you now, Danny?
51.
Okay.
Yeah, he was kind of a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're 45?
44.
Yeah. And
Same.
44. 40, yeah. So I just turned 40 in July.
Oh, you're a baby.
Yeah, but I don't feel like it. Like 40, 40,
40
it rattled me a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was curious if that extends into your 50s or by that time you've kind of brushed it off and like, screw it.
So,
I mean, I'm not 50 yet, and so I nearly have a whole nother year. So I just turned 49 in October. So
Oh, well, happy belated birthday.
talk to
then.
me when we get a little closer.
Okay, gotcha.
so your parents, the Tacketts,
Tackles.
were they from Paradise?
So my dad was, yes. My mom moved to Paradise from Fort Worth back in her family moved in the 70s.
Okay. So Paradise definitely existed in the 70s.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, it existed way before then.
In the 40s?
I would say so, yeah.
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 Yeah. I think before Paradise, it was called Draco.
Okay.
And that
It's
goes
kind of a
way
cool
back
name,
to the 1800s.
you know?
Yeah.
How'd they know about Harry Potter?
I don't know. Draco, named after Draco Malfoy before its time.
Oh, I went there. I'm nervous.
Well, let's move on from Paradise and bad Harry Potter
Okay.
jokes. But I got to know the Taylor last name, even all the way back with a buddy of mine, Preston, that I graduated with. He worked for you. But you did. We'll migrate into the farming stuff. But I got to know your name because it was associated with construction stuff and then septic work.
Right.
So let's dive into that. How does that take place? Is that a family trade or?
My dad went broke in the 80s. Didn't know what he was going to do. Went broke farming.
Yeah.
And,
No, that never happens.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, and he traded a little old pickup for an old 1-ton pickup that
Yeah.
had a big old tank in the back of it. And when he started pumping septic tanks then.
So he started
all.
pumping them and cleaning them out before and doing the install.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it all started.
People don't. It gets glossed over because it is a shitty
Yeah, it is.
job,
It
but
is.
man, there's a lot to it. Like and it makes pretty good bread too.
Yeah.
And then so evolving from that, he gets into a septic install. Now the Taylor last name is associated with a broad spectrum of construction work, right? So let's talk about that.
Well, let me back to him a minute. he said he spent half of his life farming, putting food in a man's mouth. But when he started taking it from the backside of him, that's when he started making money.
Both come with pretty good job security, but one is not market related or weather related. Like people still have to poop, whether it's raining or whether it's freezing or whether it's a drought.
Stop going to the bathroom. That's right.
And when their septic doesn't work,
who are you going to call?
They become desperate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's like, it's out of sight, out of mind. You don't think about it until something's wrong.
Coming up through your shower.
Yeah.
Which we've all had that case.
Exactly.
What do they say? You have to pump and clean out every 3 to 5 years? Is that?
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
That's right.
I don't even know what it costs to do that now.
Well, we don't pump tanks.
Not on the pumping side.
So that side is
My
diverged.
my sister.
That's all his.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
But you handle installs and stuff like that now.
Yep.
Which,
A lot of install and repairs.
Yeah.
And DeAnn's took more of a role in it in the past 2 years than I had.
okay, which branches into the marital enterprise that you guys both run. So how's that? What's the forecast of that with the growth around this area?
Yeah, tell us who the boss is.
She's the boss over there. She can have all
there
of
you
it she
go.
wants.
He says he's done dealing with people. So
People.
he didn't want anything. He wants to farm. So I figure he's worked his head off his whole life. So if that's how he wants to spend the rest of his days is getting to farm, then
You can handle the people.
I can handle the people. I don't. If you're nice,
Well, I
I'm
can
nice.
handle
If you're a
'em.
butthole,
I
I'm a
can handle
butthole.
them, but it's just not very nice.
No, it's like, there's 5 to 8 people for every one asshole, but that
Right.
one asshole
Oh,
just
yeah.
they ruin
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, they'll take advantage of you.
We've been installing for a little over 27 years now, and out of the 27 years of installing septics, just the last 2 years, we've just now started making people sign contracts.
Oh, no kidding.
Up until then, it was all handshake.
Verbal.
You did what you did what you were going to do. We did what we said we would do.
Yeah.
and it was fine.
And
Yeah.
90% of that went right.
Yeah.
You know,
Until it went wrong. And then
So what
Yeah.
changed?
Californians.
that's a lot of it.
Oh, what?
I don't know that that's all of it. I
Yeah.
think it's people in general.
Okay.
just their
I
overall
think-
attitude and
yeah.
disposition.
Yeah, we owe somebody something all the time.
Yeah, I could see that. That's the social media bleeding through reality.
Yeah, and plus it got to where, people are so dumb. I mean, we had to spell out in the contract, basically, to dumb it down. We're going to come in here with the backhoe. We're going to tear the crap out of your yard. We're going to, do the best we can to smooth it back up. But we're not landscapers. It's not going to look like it did before we got here.
Yeah.
But you would be surprised at how that people are ignorant about that. Like they get sideways when you come dig a hole in their yard. I mean, they think that it's just.
And it doesn't look like a sodded
Yeah,
wonderland when
yeah,
you're
and it's
done.
like-
But you can flush your toilet.
Exactly. That's
can
what I
poop
tell
and it goes
people.
away.
That's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, well,
Is that the largest complaint? Is that the largest issue y'all had then? Was just the finished product? I guess with
and 90% of people have common sense and understand it. But
Yeah.
then there's the few that are like,
And
stupid.
we try to make it look right.
Sure, yeah.
But then after it rains, when you dig a hole and you can't compact that,
Sure.
Yeah, it's
you
gonna
put dirt
settle.
back around the tanks. You can't compact that.
it's always gonna settle. Yeah.
But this is nothing new.
no.
no.
But the,
Well,
but the
you get-
people are new.
Well, you got to think some
Yeah,
of these
okay.
people coming from that they've been born and raised on concrete all their life.
Yeah.
But I may burst your boys' bubbles. It's
Mm-hmm.
always the men. Can you believe that? It's the
Well,
men.
really?
Because
Yes, it's not the women. It's the men.
well,
Yeah,
you
but
think
let
that's
me
the
tell you
truth?
why. Let me tell you why it's
Yeah.
the men. Because the women's in the back.
Well, that's probably true. That is probably true. But they can get. I'm just like,
I was going to plant my petunias right there where
Yeah.
they put in those lateral lines. No, I can't.
People don't plant petunias anymore. Actually, people do.
I don't even know what a
It's-
petunia is.
It's just not homeowners.
Right.
Homeowners don't plant
Oh, true.
petunias anymore.
People don't even mow their yards anymore.
I do.
I
I'm a
do. Yeah. I hate it. About July and the end of July and August, I absolutely hate mowing my own yard.
Yes.
But it makes me a healthier person.
Your
How about you,
postage
Doc?
stamp. I love mowing my yard.
It's relaxing to
Especially
me.
now.
I've downsized. I went from all those acres to
You have to stand and mow now.
Yeah,
You don't
that's
have
right.
a zero turn for a postage stamp.
Yeah, that's right. That's
So,
okay.
So do you mow, I guess? Do you do the mowing at home?
I do the mowing and weed eating.
Okay. I'm going to guess you have a right or a zero turn right on. So do you. And it's funny. Like people because you're in a freaking recliner that with a mowing deck underneath it. They have made those things so freaking comfortable, and it's just an excuse to get out of the house. I'm like, I'm going to go sit on a recliner and mow the lawn.
Yeah, we got air ride at work.
It's relaxing. I think it's relaxing.
25 years ago, you'd have come in and be like, oh, my back.
110 degrees. You've been on that thing for a couple of hours. It's
About 2 pounds of dirt in your ear.
yeah. It's like it's got its ability to suck a little bit.
Yeah.
So, funny lawnmower story. Right after we built our new house in 2002, he went and bought, because back then zero turns weren't a thing, so he went and bought a John Deere riding lawnmower. And I think this is like one of the only times he ever mowed the yard. But we were outside.
I wasn't mowing.
Oh, okay.
I was
Well, anyway.
chasing you.
Yeah, so he gets on the lawnmower, and it's like one of them ones where like you can control it with your foot, or you can do like the throttle. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
So he's like trying to be funny and chasing me on the. It was funny, yeah. And so I run up on the porch thinking I'm safe because I'm on the porch. Well, like on our front porch, it's like ranch style house, and there's like 2 sets of windows, the door, and 2 sets of windows. So I go running up on the porch thinking, okay, I'm safe. Well, here he comes up on the freaking porch, and he lets off of the foot, and the freaking thing is. And anyway, long story, he hits the rock column between our 2 windows and like nearly knocked the whole wall down.
Acting like an idiot.
I was
Was there beer or whiskey or?
I
wish I could say so.
gosh, I was pissed.
What do you say in that moment? It's like you get off the tractor and you're like, damn.
Not only did he nearly knock the wall over, but then the brand new lawnmower had like this V dent in the front of it.
That'll buff out.
But it still worked, right? Because it was John Deere.
That's right.
Yes.
Yep. Didn't slow that mower down.
No.
Yeah. I got you. So lawn work is cool until it's not. It's kind of like septic systems, right? They're cool while they're working until they don't work. Yeah. And when was
Have you ever had like the nightmare case repair that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you show up and you're like, I'm not fixing this shit. I'm not fixing this shit.
I quit.
I fixed it, and it wasn't fun.
What was the situation?
It was making a step down, and this man, he's an airline pilot.
Okay.
Super, super nice man, but just stood over me the whole time.
Oh, God.
The whole time.
Yeah.
And I'm in his, you know what?
Yeah.
Trying to get a connection together a certain way.
Yeah.
Well, I was about 1/8 of an inch off, which didn't amount to a hill of beans.
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing.
But he knew it?
Yes, he knew it. And finally, I told him, I said, fella, you either go get in there and get on your couch and drink you a glass of tea, or I'm going to go get in there on your couch and drink me a glass of tea while you fix this.
Yeah, if you're going to nitpick like that.
And he went back in the house.
So that was all I needed. You just needed to tell him off.
Yeah. In a kind of nice way, but not really.
So maybe you can talk to this, or not, but how do you feel about the aero septic systems?
Aerobic.
Yeah, aerobic versus good old traditional. I say good old. I don't know enough to have an opinion, right?
It depends on the soil. I mean,
Okay.
You can't like a bad clay soil. You can't make it take water. It'll take it slowly. But that's the good thing about an aerobic is you're a way to get rid of
Any
I don't
soil
like
you can.
Yeah. Right.
You
make
think
it work.
that there's going to be like a slowly drifting away from conventional into aerobic around
maybe
here?
Denton County.
There doesn't need to be.
No, Denton County, which they've got a lot of bad dirt too.
Okay.
A lot of bad dirt and high water in certain places. But they're
99.5% of what we put in Denton County is aerobic. You just don't hardly put a conventional
it's
in.
the soil.
Yeah.
It's the soil and what they want. Now, will a conventional work in some of that?
Yeah.
With us, 2 people living there, probably put enough line in.
But for overall reliability and effectiveness, you might as well just do the aerobic.
Yeah, or there's alternatives to that also. There's different systems that you can still put the water under the ground, but it's just would be more expensive than an aerobic.
Gotcha.
I got you. So if you move into a place and you're like, okay, this soil's right, I can actually get a conventional into the ground. You should go with conventional.
Most definitely.
100%.
Most definitely.
So is it y'all then that decided to expand your scope of work into more large scale product site work and move out of septic, or was that also?
No, it's me.
Okay.
It's me. And I don't, no, it's not like it used to be, just because I haven't chased it as hard.
Yeah.
And, but there's work there.
We really don't push the dozer side of things the way we should.
Okay.
If something
Anymore.
comes to us, when we do it, fish
Yeah.
pad, whatever it is,
Okay.
dirt wise.
One.
So you decided to become a farmer.
Well, this is
Well, he's always been. He's already.
all my life.
Yeah,
And
you-
I worked when I left school and went to work. I worked a full-time job and then farmed on the side.
Before we start rabbit holing down 47 different ways, though, let's go back a little bit because y'all said if you have the option to do a conventional, do a conventional.
Always.
Most definitely.
Why? Just in case there's septic people, go into detail.
Let-
I'm
Why?
glad I got questions on this.
Yeah.
Less trouble. I mean, you have
In
no
the long
in the long
run,
run.
okay.
You don't have to. There's no moving parts. You don't have to have a maintenance contract, and it's just simpler.
Because is it true if you do a aerobic, you have to get a company to come out and service
That's
that?
correct.
You
For
can't
the
do it
life
yourself
of it.
no more.
Right.
correct.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Gotcha. What? Chance your phone.
Chinese phone you got?
Okay, so say you have an aerobic system and you happen to walk out there one day and it's not like you never go out there, because if you have an aerobic system, you should go out like once a month, right? And take a look at your heads and all this stuff. But you happen to walk out there and you got this like watermelons growing in your aerobic
Don't eat them.
patch. Don't eat them?
Is this
Okay,
coming-
I've needed this question for a long
just-
time.
I
It's
don't-
100% fine to eat those. 100%.
Ask the professionals.
I'm taking DeAnn's word over yours, sir.
100% fine to eat them.
I mean, whatever.
Do you,
I mean, I'm not eating them, but
I mean,
know,
say you put gloves on when you go harvest them, then you clean them off really good.
Yeah.
it's probably fine.
Just
Actually,
fertilizer.
What do you think, Danny?
It'd probably be all right. I don't know that I'd eat.
No, I'm not
Oh,
going
okay.
to. I'm hoping you will.
Well, don't they say the spray that comes out of an aerobic is technically clean enough to bathe in? Or
It's supposed to be, but it's
Supposed
not.
to be, but
There's no way.
no.
no.
Otherwise, it wouldn't grow the watermelons better.
There you go.
They'd right.
Yeah.
My favorite thing and I got a phone call just yesterday was, I'm getting a smell from my aerobic system, and I said, well, welcome to aerobic systems, because I will never guarantee to anybody
It's
that
not
you're not
odors.
going to get a smell, because
Right.
you will get a smell.
Yeah, his house, this old farmhouse down here has the was it the effluent that goes out, but one is the gray water drain gets separated underneath. Sometimes it stinks, but man, that's
especially in
some,
the summertime.
that's some lush green,
yeah.
beautiful grass
Oh,
that
yeah.
grows down there through
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, life loves stinky shit. I mean, quite honestly, but there's no going around it. It's not like the sewer situation in locally is going to improve anytime soon, right? Because the city sewer situation is pretty locked in. I'm looking at Heath now, right? You know, it's like there's got to be votes and shit that happens to expand the municipal aspect of that
Not necessarily votes, percentage.
percentage.
Yeah.
Okay.
So once said sewer station or whatever you want to call them gets to a certain percentage of capacity, then you have to start doing stuff to either expand or build a bigger one.
I gotcha.
Yeah, it's not really votes.
So,
but
so if you're moving to Wise County and you're not moving into a housing addition, probably you're going to need a septic.
if you're
sometime.
if you're moving in Wise County, not in a city limits, yes.
Yeah.
Or if your lots are smaller than or larger than wasn't it acre? I forget how it breaks down.
2 acres with the water well, 1 acre with the
Okay,
public
that's
water.
that's the determining thing.
That's
is-
what it is today.
Yeah.
As
Okay.
far
So
as
you
I
have
know.
to, if you're under 2 acres, you have to have municipal water, but you can have your own septic field.
Unless you're grandfathered.
Right.
Okay.
Unless, say, like you have an existing system that was put in the 60s
Yeah.
and it's failing.
You can
Yeah.
repair.
They're
it.
not going to tell you can't.
Yeah, because there's still existing wells in the city of Decatur.
Yeah. Same in Paradise.
Yeah,
Still
everywhere, yeah.
Every house in
Most-
Paradise. has
Every
a well.
house in
Every
yeah.
par- yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. And if you have a field,
Well, not every house
you can
anymore.
grow some
is it?
watermelons.
There's-
'Cause
In
don't they-
Paradise?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They have
maybe-
Walnut Creek, don't they?
Yeah.
they do, but I mean, yeah, I guess maybe those new houses.
The
all
new
the
houses, I bet you don't
yeah.
have wells,
I
yeah.
bet that's right. Yeah.
Well, so recently, I've got more personally acquainted with y'all because of the farming aspect. Y'all have officially taken over operations of the Overton Farms, and it's now basically Taylor Farms as well as Overton Farms. But damn it, y'all are doing a nice job.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I would like to say something on that.
We'll say it.
I love it Because I haven't got a phone call one. Go get your
There's
cows
cow
out of the house.
Yeah.
So your fence work is better.
Yeah.
I got it.
Maybe a little. Maybe a little.
I just don't get the calls from him no more. Hey, man, we got cows on the runway.
You think? I strategically placed him in that house.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only time I get calls for cows now is when they're on my runway in the town. So that's,
But y'all made a pretty good, successful history with farming. And how long have y'all had such a good success with it?
Oh, I don't know. It's year to year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. It ebbs and flows.
don't jinx it.
Yeah.
But you haven't gone bankrupt and you haven't gone
Yeah,
broke.
That's right.
Maybe damn close. Who
Yep.
knows? Can't say for
Yep.
sure. But you bring to the table, like you are able to bring the machinery and the hands to like, okay, so that's one of the first notes up here is the scaling of the farming in the United States. And how in the hell you sustain at a small family farm level anymore. And I'm talking like family farm being like 500 acres or less would be my starting point to, scale it down more.
That's huge.
How many acres would you say we farm though?
Farm cultivation land about 2,500.
Okay.
Total.
What are we calling farming? I mean, I'm a city folk. You always called this a Overton farm, right?
Yeah.
But I kind of took issue with it because
we went down this rabbit hole with the difference between farming and ranching.
I know it's because whenever I looked at when I came out here, I was like, "This isn't a farm. This is a ranch."
Yeah, but that's like a Western term. Like ranch is farming to me encompasses the raising of animals or livestock and the harvesting of crops or production of crops. It covers the gamut. Ranching is just
livestock.
It's just some livestock out on a hill in West Texas. You may have one cow per 100 acres, but by God, you're a rancher.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. So you agree with him?
I do agree with him.
Or if you're from
Okay.
California, you need 2.5 acres
And a dog.
and a dog. That gives you enough power to go get a tractor.
Yeah.
Now you're a rancher.
Hey, bro, come to our ranch. You can charge your Tesla here.
Yes.
Oh well, on the tax rolls, that's what counts, right? As long as the IRS deems you a ranch,
Yes.
Oh,
you
my
can call
goodness.
yourself a ranch.
That's right.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So I got it.
All right. So sorry.
So we're
rabbit hole.
farming.
Yeah,
we're
so
farming.
how have you found success? And I'm guessing it involves scaling out to a larger scale of farming, more acres, because it's like a numbers game and a volume game, right? In order to achieve monetary success with farming.
It's helped a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
Helped a lot.
How many years have you been doing it?
All my life, I guess, basically. But on my own, probably since I was about 15.
Okay. At what point did you? At what age, I guess? Because you were talking about like he didn't want to deal with people anymore. He wants to farm. When did this happen?
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Thereabout.
He basically just was like, I'm ready to.
Well, and it got so big, I couldn't. I mean, I don't sleep much anyways. But I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't get any rest for trying to. I mean, you can spend all day going looking at jobs, all day, and then draw those jobs if you get them. Draw those jobs up and do all that, and contracts now, and
And I think that's the thing that like a lot of people don't understand is that like up until the last 3 years ago, we literally were doing it all ourselves. I mean, we didn't have somebody that we had hired to go look at jobs and bid jobs and whatever. And then like about 3 years ago, he was like,
Screw
enough.
this.
Yes, enough. I'm done. We need to hire somebody to go look at all these because he's right. I mean, you can drive to one end of the county to the other end of the county and there's your day. I mean, it's gone. And so that's when we made the decision to hire someone
Okay.
to basically just go look at all the jobs, bid them, and he moves our guys like to the jobs now. And we sold our dump trucks. We were like, we're done with that. We're not gonna, So we hire somebody to bring all of our septic rock, that kind of thing in. We don't have to do that anymore. But back on the whole farming thing, and you talking about how your place looks so good, I'll have to give him some props because I don't know of very many people who love the land like he does. He just loves the land.
You'd have to. It's a cruel mistress if you
Yes,
don't. Like you have
yes.
to dedicate yourself to it, damn near.
Yeah,
Cruel mistress.
And we didn't mention this on our family history, but we have a daughter and a son, Courtney, who's married and has 4 kids, and then Clayton, our son, who he has followed right in his dad's footsteps. Like he wants nothing to do with the business side of things.
Okay.
I mean,
Just working the land is what he wants.
yes,
Okay.
he's the same way, and so
has a passion for
Yeah.
it.
yeah. And so, yeah.
That's got to be a kind of a relief. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How many? You're at 2,500 acres. You're operating right now. Is that
of farm ground, cultivation ground?
what kind of personnel? How many personnel does it take to?
We don't have enough.
It's never enough. Sure. Yeah.
We've got it's 5 of us: DeAnn and I, and Clayton, and 2 other guys.
Okay.
Was 3 other guys.
Guys.
Yeah.
Well, I've noticed, at least with the hay side of things, like y'all could accomplish something damn near in a day that would have taken me a week. So,
How many rolls of hay would you say on a good year we roll up?
I don't know. Last year it was a little over. It was 22,000 or something.
Good Lord.
This year it won't be like that.
That's a lot of hay.
That's a lot of hay when you think about how I can't even move one of those bells, right? I mean, it's like my wife and I can like budge a bell.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we might can roll it over once, but 22,000 of those, that's crazy.
Yeah. Could you imagine loading those without any modern machinery?
Ugh.
No, I could not. Yeah. That's it. Hence the round bell,
Yeah.
right? Bells weren't round before we had machines that could move them.
No, they were, before machines, I guess it was just a pile of hay.
Yeah.
You piled it up in the field, and there it stood until you were ready to feed it to animals.
And they still do a lot of that in Wyoming, Montana, big ranching country.
Okay. Have y'all ever messed with silage?
Never have.
Okay, I haven't either. I hear as northerners move down into this area, I hear more and more chatter about silage. And
What is silage?
it's fermented
Yeah.
grass.
Wheat, grass,
So instead of baling it, they
corn.
cut it. It doesn't get processed other than, I believe, loading it up into a cart, and then it dumps into a ditch or some sort of a pile, and then you
It
cover
just
it.
ferments.
You cover it and let it ferment.
Ain't that what this is right
Yeah,
there?
there's an old silage pit that's right out here.
Yeah.
They quit doing silage way before my time. So
They found out the cows are just drunk all the time. They just kind of walk around in little circles, falling over.
but damn it,
Yeah.
they tasted good and they were docile. But I think that at that time, like the hay, the mechanical industry became more affordable to produce hay, and they're like, well, this is a duh. So we'll just go with that.
Yeah.
But you also are beef raisers and cattlemen and cattle ladies, cattle women. How many head do you run?
But right now, close to 800 cows.
God. Yeah. So the farming is obviously very seasonal. Cattle are not.
Right.
Cattle are demanding 24/7, 365, especially when you've got road frontage and fences on road frontage.
Yeah.
Which is what he was talking about. It's like just myself working this place alone. I could spend all days of the week just repairing fence over and over again.
And
Because,
then the next week, because they're going to tear it all up.
yeah.
Well, okay, so it seems like we've gone through like we went through a drought, then we went through like wildfires in Texas, and then we went through like another drought, and it seems like the hay situation, people just can't keep up with that. And so if you can produce hay, you should be producing hay, right?
That's right.
This year there was an abundance of winter grasses.
Yes.
They came. That's where you said you did 22,000 this last season.
Last year.
And okay,
Not 23
23.
season. Yeah, 23 season.
okay,
This year, I don't know how many, but I know it's not that many this year.
okay. So you hit the hay prices in 23 were pretty damn good.
They was.
And
23 was a great year.
So I don't know if people stocked up or if they sold off cattle, waiting on like a market correction or whatever. But the hay sales were a little tough this year.
Very tough.
Very
It
tough.
was really interesting to see that paradigm shift because in 23 it was like, if you got it, whatever you're asking for it, I don't care.
don't
I
matter,
want it.
bring it
I
to me,
want it.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Bill's paying 150 for it. I'll give you 160. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it was
totally different year this year.
It was astonishing to see that contrast.
So is it like an A-B thing? Like if you're not doing hay, you're doing more cows. If you're not, and you're just switching off from there, or what else? Like,
It stays about the same.
okay,
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I mean, if we can produce hay, we're going to produce hay.
Okay.
May
Hey,
may not sell this year, but
well, that's
may not sell
you
next
keep
year.
it right,
Yeah.
then
So-
it'll sell the next year.
Have you ever taken a break from farming?
No.
That was my situation when we started talking. Was like, you know what? I need a break from this, and I need to pursue other things, because at this, what we have barely squeaks by. You know, there's no gain. there's probably more than likely going to be a loss at this size. We don't have the resources to scale out. So you have those resources, the machinery. You've been able to scale out and grow. And I think I wanted to drive that home to people that watch fucking Yellowstone or I don't know, the stuff that glorifies it. And they're like, well, why don't you just, what's wrong with this lifestyle? I'm like, it ain't that easy, man.
Nobody has a clue. And even like my family, his family, like his parents, whatever, he was raised that way. I was not.
Yeah.
So like even my family sometimes they don't understand like why you can't be somewhere at 5 o'clock or why you can't be here on this day or whatever because when as the saying goes, when it's time to bale hay, when it's time to make hay,
Bingo.
it's time to make hay. And it's people don't understand farming at all. That it's not like going to work at 8 o'clock and getting off at 5 o'clock.
And it's not all an Instagram photo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically 365 days a year of early mornings, late nights, worrying about is it going to rain, worrying about is it not. I mean, people do not understand the ins and outs of farming. I mean, it's not.
They don't have to deal with a heartache. They don't
Right.
have to deal with the financial backbreaking mental stress that that's caused by finance and financial unease, depending on market situations or weather situations.
Yeah, sure.
Weather is probably one of the biggest factors in farming and ranching.
Yes.
They don't have to go out. They don't have to pull a calf at 2 a.m.
Right.
Round up cattle off the highway or whatever, or freeze their ass off when a cow's having trouble with birthing. And they all do in February.
Oh yeah.
Or we had a bunch of heifers. Our Clayton had a lot of heifers. What was it last year? That when they calved, I mean, you would literally go out there and the calves would be dead from buzzards.
Yeah.
I mean, the buzzards were killing them.
Black-headed
Buzzards
vultures.
are a big problem right now.
Right, bad.
Big problem.
Yeah, I shoot every single one of those
Might as
bastards I
well.
can.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Oh, I've already said it multiple
Oh, I've
times.
done told them I was going to shoot
I
them.
told the game wardens around here know. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, just don't tell us.
I mean, how stupid is it that they would be against the law
It
to
is-
kill those things when they're killing your livestock?
Agonizingly dumb.
Yeah.
And they're not indigenous
It's
to
like
this
the
area
wolves.
Exactly.
anyway.
It's like the
Exactly.
wolves, right?
Yeah. Yeah, just
You
go
know.
ahead and take me
Kill
on
the
to jail.
wolves, but then there's a wolf problem.
Yeah.
What wolves?
Then you got to bring the wolves back.
I think Colorado ranchers are having that issue now
Yeah.
from reinstated wolf populations
yeah,
that
yeah.
they're killing livestock again. It's like, well, yeah, hell yeah, they're easy targets. The cows are a lot easier to chase than elk. So
It's all right.
Yeah.
Trump will fix everything going on in Colorado.
Is that true? I mean, I don't know.
But 20 years
I doubt
ago,
it.
we probably didn't have those black-headed buzzards.
no, I don't.
Not like we've got them now.
Nope, I don't ever remember seeing them.
And it's the
in-
black-headed ones.
Oh, yeah.
It's those suckers are mean.
and they're strategic and they're intelligent.
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
Yeah. So here's what I'm like having trouble following is like, okay, back in say like the 1980s, somebody would be like, oh yeah, my 200 acres isn't enough to really kind of create a margin to live off of in farming. I wish I had 1,000 acres, right? And there's no doubt that somebody with 1,000 acres couldn't really like create that gap,
Yeah.
create that profit, right?
Depends
But
on what
now-
that 1,000 acres look like, but yeah.
Yeah,
Or- yeah,
well,
what it
that's true.
produces.
Yeah.
But now it's not. It's 1,000 acres, and that's not enough.
Now,
And
now you've
really
got
got
to build up your supply of machinery and workers to work that 1,000
Is
acres.
that just
instead
my
of 200.
perception, or
No,
or
you're
is that
you're right.
true?
And as you grow, you have to encompass more just to meet the demand of however much land or acreage you're running.
Yeah. So scaling
Yeah.
Well, I think it also.
has gotten harder.
I think it's the same thing as groceries. In 1980s, you could go spend $100 and get a truckload of groceries.
Well, that's true.
Now, if you go to the store to buy $100 worth of groceries, you're getting 2 bags.
Yeah.
Maybe too bad.
Right.
But that
Maybe, yeah.
margin never grows on the producer end.
Right.
Because once you're making more money for selling your product, your expenses for growing that product have also increased too. Ergo fertilizer. That would be the biggest culprit. So I guess my question to y'all would be: at what size, growing your farming operation, what size do you think it would be to where you absolutely become profitable and successful with money? Because I don't think it's like the small family farms anymore without the S word. Subsidies
Yep.
from
Yep.
government.
I don't know. That's a
from
good
oil.
question. I never really sat down and thought about it. That's a good.
everybody
Good
around
question.
here is subsidized by oil for sure.
Sure.
And then, the government has their hands in things too. So I don't know. Do y'all collect
Oil's
subsidies?
not a subsidy.
It is. It's
Maybe
an
you're right.
operational subsidy.
It makes for good ranches and good farms.
Yeah, it really does.
But it's not coming from public money. It's coming
No,
from
no, it's not. But you're subsidizing one
corporate money.
endeavor from another.
Sure.
Yeah. So in that essence, it's
It
a
doesn't
subsidy.
feel like cheating. Oh, did I just say that? Or is government subsidies cheating?
I don't know. So I was going to ask y'all: do you have
a good
government
question.
subsidies
Yeah,
and
I
growing
have.
grain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Well, like crop insurance is what I believe is what he's talking about.
Oh,
Stuff
yeah.
related to that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, not to get political, but like, let's get political. I mean,
Yeah, sure. No, that's what we're here for.
Biden was rough on farmers.
Yeah.
I mean, it was rough on farmers.
I heard
Yeah.
that. Well, like, how so? How
I mean,
how was he tough?
Just
Rough?
no like farm bills. I mean,
Okay.
and not that anybody's. I could care. I mean, I'm not sitting around waiting on the government
Sure.
to, I mean, what money you did get from them is not going to like change your life anyhow. But just he was hard on farmers. I mean, it was obvious that they did not care about farmers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I guess they think you get your
That-
food at Walmart. I don't know.
That's just because he's getting all his groceries from Ukraine.
Exactly. There you go.
He didn't care about the organizational practices within the country that protected the farming situation.
Right.
So there's a growing consensus that subsidies are socializing. Farming is socialized to a degree, but there's a growing sentiment that like why are we
You say that word to
subsidized?
farmers,
What?
a majority of them will throw something at you.
Socializing?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's part of what a subsidy is if it's coming from the government. So to what degree would you argue against like, no, this is necessary money, and why? Is it to keep food affordable on the shelf?
I don't know. That's a good
Okay.
question.
I would say that would be part of it.
Yeah.
I would say that would be part of it.
I don't know
because-
why. I don't know why they have to be involved in it so much. When
That-
it comes
that's
to,
my
like,
thinking.
Like my crop insurance, they pay a portion of that.
Yeah.
And why? You know,
So would you go bankrupt without it? I guess is a
No.
good question.
I don't think so.
It's nice to have, but you don't
Yeah,
really
I don't
need
know.
it.
Right.
I mean, I'm kind of like Danny. I just sooner them keep their nose out of it.
Yeah.
Really.
Because you get those census forms every year for those government subsidies. I got a census
Do you
form
fill
for-
yours out? No, I throw them in the trash.
Let me ask this: do you have to have crop insurance?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw because I'm an ass. I'm gonna throw something at you here. You just said I'd rather them keep their nose out of it. So why do you mess with crop insurance then?
90% of my country's in flood zones.
Oh, the property you have.
Yeah.
Okay,
Where I farm.
So it's just a smart choice.
I think so.
for sure. Yeah.
It's like,
Well, especially
really nice, fertile farmland, but it has a caveat.
Yeah.
It's what when you told me this, you were like, hey, can we plow out the river bottom and plant wheat? I'm like, yeah, you can, but you know
can.
what's going to happen now. It hadn't flooded in 5 years.
This will be it.
but you got pretty good odds now because since they're not.
Oh yeah, the river they don't use
They
that
don't-
could
they
be
don't-
worse.
Well,
if the lake's
it'd have
full.
to rain a bunch. But
So
I bet you got pretty good odds. For
they're
the next
getting
couple
drinking
years.
water into Eagle Mountain from a whole nother.
Not this way?
No.
Uh-uh.
So this is like an emergency thing now.
Yeah, so they don't
When
longer
they start that?
a couple years ago. I think,
ago.
no? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so the original plan was to build the pipeline from, and I don't remember it's actually 2 more lakes down. So there's actually 2 lakes they built like an 8-foot pipeline. So
wow.
8 foot. I mean, you can walk in
Wow.
this. And it brings water out of those 2 lakes, and it ends up. And the plan was to bring one from Eagle Mountain all
right here,
all
bro.
the way
Don't
up
worry-
to
don't worry about
all
me.
the way up to Bridgeport.
I've just been here for the last 2.5 years.
It hasn't got there yet. It's still a plan as we grow. That's probably what they're going to do. But since they've put the pipelines into Eagle Mountain, they no longer suck out of Bridgeport.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, unless they just, I mean, it had to be bad,
Right.
but used to, it was all the time, just flowing all, and they don't do that no more. Because
which
of that,
has a
so.
bearing on your wheat field,
Yeah.
right? If they're not sucking out of Bridgeport,
Well, hopefully, yeah, he won't have to worry about it flooding.
it's kind
so
of like
much.
septic. It
Yeah.
can back up.
Because that's the only
on you.
time I've ever seen it really flood is when we've got so much rain that the
Bridgeport's-
Bridgeport was so full they had to
Yeah.
open it up, and then this
But a lot of our acreage is up on the Red River too, and so
So
so we get double. Yeah,
y'all love being risky, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
farming is it's a
20
gamble.
foot of water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But whenever it comes down to it, where's the cost in taking risk? Okay, it's not just in your backbreaking work or your time spent on the tractor. You're also purchasing seed and fertilizer to plant those fields. And so if you lose on like river frontage, right, you're really losing monetarily as well.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Hence the insurance.
You rob Peter to pay Paul.
Huge.
I mean,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, I gotcha. And I've heard a lot from. Well, I just listened to really conspiracist type people, but they're hard on the seed market. It's like it's a proprietary, protected market. And is that true?
I don't know. That's a whole different market paradigm than I would be privy to.
Yeah, me too.
That's number people. People with big college degrees are in.
I gotcha.
But
The whole Monsanto rules the world thing.
So that's another reason to talk about subsidies. And is it social? The subsidies, is it a socialized way to help preserve smaller farm mom and pop operations instead of Monsanto sized industry coming through and just buying everybody out? And that's happening.
Oh yeah,
it's taking place.
Yeah.
And money talks. So if you have a farm with no subsidized income whatsoever, and you have a year where it's nothing but drought or bad frost or freezes, whatever, what the hell do you do? And if somebody comes and makes you an offer from some big corporate industrial complex, then what do you say?
Or from China.
Yeah, that's another like that. That just can't
speaking
be
of
a
China,
thing.
did you see what JD Vance said?
What did he say?
No.
He wants to take all land from China.
Good.
Just
Good,
take it all.
as he should.
All of it.
Yeah.
That trend started with Arkansas, though, didn't it? I think Arkansas was like the first state of the union to be like, if you ain't from here, you ain't buying our land.
That's right.
Peace
Well, I
out.
should.
Yeah, that's how it should
Yeah,
be.
that is right, Arkansas.
Good for Arkansas.
Yep.
They did give us Bill Clinton, though, so points deducted for that.
Points deducted. Well, I mean, I'd rather have Bill than Hillary.
I did. We went up to Arkansas and into Hot Springs, and they celebrate Bill Clinton big time. But it was pretty cool. That he was kind of a man of the people. He was like a.
Especially one of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. But he.
I don't get it. What?
Elaborate on that.
Never mind. We're talking
I
cigars.
cannot talk about the circumstances that happened in the White House.
What were you saying?
I don't remember anymore.
Hot Springs?
Yeah, Hot Springs in Arkansas is a beautiful place.
It was.
You're talking about how much you love Bill Clinton.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I don't say I love him, but
Yeah.
He was a man of the people. Well, I don't think.
I think history has judged his presidency.
It's not so bad.
Yeah.
We've definitely had
actually,
worse.
I think,
Yes, we've had worse.
We've definitely
right.
had worse.
I think when history looks back on his pregnancy.
Pregnancy, oh,
Wow.
Maybe not that
his,
one, but
his
yes.
presidency actually judges it pretty nicely.
Yeah.
And
I
think
says
so,
that
yeah.
might be the end of the American golden age.
That was like when people were a
Wow.
little more centralized, a little more.
Yeah, that
moderate.
was before the tech bubble. Tech bubble happened in 2002. Since then, it's kind of been rocky and downhill. But maybe I'm misjudging that. That's possible.
All right, glyphosate. We've talked about this before.
Oh, this is a deep subject.
This is another societal consensus going.
Is this Roundup?
Yep.
Yep.
It is Roundup. It's the active ingredient in Roundup more specifically, right? It's the one that like it makes Roundup work. And it does. It works. Yeah. But I did not know. I thought when I was hearing like Joe Rogan and people of that ilk talking about using glyphosate, right? That's the right way to say it.
Glyphosate.
Glyphosate.
Yep.
For drying out crops, I almost thought there's no way. Like that's just too expensive. But in turnabout fair play, it is a true thing.
Yeah.
And y'all use it.
It's a very good product.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of negative about it.
Yeah,
Which,
so
and I
there's-
don't know if any of it's true.
I think it'll be on its way out.
Yeah.
I may be wrong, but I think RFK is gonna.
Yeah, he's pretty hard on that.
He's gonna be like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Is it really truly banned in Europe? Because
I don't know.
I have heard that.
have you watched Clarkson's Farm?
No.
Okay, so there's a brief moment in there where they're talking about spraying off the crops, and his little partner Caleb was like, "Oh, that's for killing off the weeds, right?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." So it's obviously not banned in the UK because there was a tongue-in-cheek side. What the heck was that?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
Was that your phone?
Nope.
That sounded like it came through the
Yeah, I never heard that before.
mic. No, I haven't
Oh,
heard
it
that.
sounded like a seatbelt chime. on an
Time's
airplane.
up.
Yep.
So it's obviously not banned in the UK, but you do use it here. So to what degree do you find it effective?
Very effective.
Okay.
No, I mean, plants can, weeds, plants, grasses can create a tolerance to it.
Yeah. But what is the overall goal for? Is it just for like one unified dry crop? Is that the goal with using glyphosate?
The goal is to kill anything that's trying to grow but what you want to grow.
So what-
like burn something, we call it burning it. Burn it down before you plant, before anything comes up.
Okay.
And-
so you're not spraying a finished crop then? Like
No,
you're not.
Well, you can't, depending on what it is, because I mean, like soybeans, you've got Roundup Ready beans,
Okay.
Roundup Ready corn. I think Milo now.
So that's understandable if you're spraying off the ground before you plant a product.
Right.
But a lot of people argue that this chemical is being used to finish a product, like your wheat. You want a unified, dried out wheat crop. Well, it's maybe a little early in the season, but you've got to get machinery through, so you spray it and it dries out. But it doesn't make any sense to me.
No, I don't know that I'd ever do it that way. But I mean, you do need to kill plant other vegetation and stuff down, and like in the soybeans, if they've got Johnson grass coming or whatever,
Yeah.
you can go in there and.
Because if you try to dry out wheat too early, that seed has not fully developed, and it's going to be a moot.
I don't know
crop.
how it would be beneficial on wheat.
Well, that's their argument is it's used on this large scale in grains, but it doesn't make any sense because if you kill off the plant before the grain's done producing, you don't have a food product, period. It's not going to develop. But now spraying the ground beforehand, and that's the thing is my experience with Roundup, I use it, you use it. It kills the vegetation, and once it hits the ground, it's done.
That's right.
Whatever, there's new growth that'll end up coming up, so it doesn't
It's
stay.
just whatever it can come in contact with, it's growing, living.
Right.
And knock on wood, nobody at this table has like melanoma or I mean, your fingers tend to fall off from time to time, but
Yeah.
So is it you hypothesized once that maybe it's just the way of life that these people live that are using this product, and perhaps dietary things or substance use that, like when they tied red meat in with
That's deep. That gets really
when
deep.
they tied red meat into like a carcinogen. What's the word here?
Carcinogen.
Carcinogen. Well, that was anecdotal evidence because people that were eating red meat were also heavy smokers, heavy drinkers, and it was just like everything combined.
Basically they were shit studies.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah, epidemiologic studies. Okay, producing the fact that they wanted produced,
right?
Which at the time was red meat. Okay, and right, no doubt, maybe that goes on with glyphosate as well, but. Man, it's a tough subject. It really is.
Yeah, it really is right now. But I think we just put to bed that they're not using it to finish grain crops at least. But there's
Whiskey Bro fact checked, of course, right? Yeah.
The proposition is they're also using it on fruit crops too. Like they'll spray your oranges or anything with it. But if you do that, the fruit is not fully developing if you dry it out early. But why would you spray fruit with it? Because you'd kill off whatever damn tree is growing it.
I have a hard time because I listen to them. I listen to people who would classify themselves as sustainability farmers.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's Joel Salatin being kind of the guy.
Have y'all read his book
No.
or listened to anything?
It's really interesting. And he would come down hard on glyphosate, okay, being a sustainability farmer. But I listen to other people who would term themselves sustainability farmers who they have no basis. Basically, they say shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
These are the same people that are telling you cows fart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I
And
think
I have a
it
hard
is.
time dividing the two.
The only thing that I could think that would work on the whole Roundup thing is if you diluted it down enough, because it's not going to do anything to your fruit. It's going to, because it goes through with the leaves.
But that's what I'm saying.
It might slow the growth of the plant and allow, but I don't know how that's drying the.
And you are a herbicide scientist.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. You actually probably have the most.
Again, I don't know how it would
really.
But if I was a fruit farmer and I had like 20-year-old cherry trees or orange trees or whatever, I would not want to go spray them with Roundup.
No, because it's going to kill the tree eventually.
Yeah, if you have exactly.
But if you dilute it down enough, it might not.
But then is it going to work?
Huh?
Then is it going to work?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they're doing it for some reason just to slow
defoliate maybe the leaves or something,
because the fruit's still going to grow, it's still going to
ripen out.
Yeah, you're not going to do nothing. But I'm trying to figure out on the wheat part, how that's dry, because I mean you're going to kill that plant.
Yeah,
I mean you'd have to dilute that down big time.
But in this state, at least, like it's the weather's coming. It's going to get hot enough to naturally dry that weed out, and it's fully developed. It's ready to go. That's not an issue. So I don't know if it's in cooler climates that they use this technique, but it still doesn't make any damn sense to me.
Well, I know on cotton they have to defoliate it.
Do they really? Yeah. And is that a process through with Roundup?
No. I don't know what it would be for sure.
So y'all don't have any cotton growing? Yeah. That's a whole nother realm.
Yes.
It's interesting. And what I'm taking away is like glyphosate is a tool that's being used.
Very big tool.
Widespread.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you can't just take that tool away.
Yeah.
You would have to have something to replace it. I mean, because farmers are going to have to, you're going to have to get rid of weeds. You're going to have to get rid of things.
Yeah.
So
it's
what are you
coming.
going to replace it with?
They have some stuff out there. I can't remember what the heck it's called. But it's I think it's coming.
Yeah.
I mean, because
it's just going to cost you twice as much.
Yeah.
And now food prices go up again because the cost of production once again goes up. That's the thing is glyphosate's effective. It works and it's pretty damn cheap in terms of chemical applications. There's some expensive stuff out there for sure. So relative to that, the stuff is more affordable.
But it's going to be interesting. I think changes are coming. To quote my,
Maybe
least favorite music artist, Bob Dylan.
That's why we have them here. What kind of adaptations and changes do y'all see coming down the pike?
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a good question.
You just basically have to take it day by day. Yeah. There's no forecasting.
If they take it away from us, we'll do something else.
Well, that's never the freaking case. So I don't want to mention specific names because they tend to be kind of a hostile company on the corporate end, but green painted machinery has been a hot topic lately because of the right to repair issue that's going on. And I noticed that y'all have a lot of green painted machinery in use. Has that affected productivity or affordability or anything for y'all?
Probably affordability, yes.
None of it's affordable.
The cost of entry on just a basic tractor is probably what, $100,000 for a 100 horsepower tractor now?
Yeah, probably $140,000 now.
Jeez.
That's no frills. That's no bells and whistles. That's just an engine, a transmission, and a seat. Maybe some air conditioning if you're in this region, but still, that's a huge cost of entry. So, repairing, is that affected y'all at all? Working in the field,
you've got to find somebody that can plug into it, and most of the time I'll get somebody to diagnose it, and then I'll fix it myself, change the part myself. But I can't diagnose.
It's just finding the part that's broken.
I could spend $15,000 and probably get the
equipment
to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you also then at that, from what I understand, there has been no settlement. You might face the potential of being sued for backdooring their software just so you can get a fix in the field to continue your operation.
Yeah.
Is that exclusive to just the green painted?
I doubt it.
Yeah,
I doubt it.
They're just at the forefront because they're the biggest. Yeah. I was curious about that.
How much does a new round baler cost now?
Between 60 and 80,000.
Wow.
So even if you have a 500 acre farm, if you want to operate just for crops, I mean, if you hay crops, grain crops, whatever, you're already looking at I don't know, a $350,000 to $400,000 investment just in machinery. Just
I was going to say $500,000 just to get started.
And then you're going to fertilize.
Yep.
Seed. And then you're going to buy net wrap, and you're going to buy fuel, and then you're going to wonder why a bale of hay costs $100.
And you're going to hope that land was given to you too.
Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah, that's not to mention if you're trying to break into this.
Yeah.
And And it's in this region at least. I don't know what farmland up in the the plains in the Midwest costs, but
Midwest extremely expensive.
is it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it's not a lost cause because you're doing it, right? You're just scaling up to 2,500 acres, 4,000 acres. 5.
Are you at a comfortable point where it's like what you want to handle, or you want more? Keep growing.
I always want more.
Yeah, it's kind of the nature of the
Maybe
beast.
not as much farm, but as much grazing.
Yeah.
Cattle are a little easier, in a way.
I heard Taylor Sheridan's got some land out west.
Yeah.
So how do you sell that much hay?
This year I haven't. Last year, there was a huge demand, and Facebook Marketplace is kind of hurt in a way, and it helps in a way.
Yeah. You get some real dunces on that.
Yes.
I had an issue with one guy who was there. This is 2023. There when I was loading up the hay, watched me load it onto his trailer, took it home, fed it, put it out, and called me 3 days later like, this hay sucks. I want my money back. I'm like, okay, well, I can't do that, but how don't you, come back and I'll just exchange your hay. He goes, no, I've already put it all out. I'm like, well, you want me to refund you money from hay that you've put out into the field? Yeah. Well, I swear my cows aren't eating it. Like, send me a picture. I'm not at the farm right now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but he ended up disputing it because it was a credit card transaction, and they got his $300 back.
Wow.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed off about that.
And you got those assholes that buy like 1 or 2 bells at a time.
Or those assholes that are like,
I can
hey,
say
my
that because I
Longhorns-
was one.
My Longhorns need a bell. Can you bring me? Can you bring me one?
Can you deliver it?
My yarn ornaments need a bell.
Yeah.
But marketing it's tough. 30 plus years of doing it, I guess, is in contacts and working hard to find contacts has been a big part of it. But
Yeah,
even with those on a year like this year, because there's within a 400 or 500 mile radius, there's been tons and tons of hay made.
Yeah.
And that affects it a lot.
Who are your biggest buyers, cattle or equestrian?
Cattle.
Yeah.
Cattle. I don't hardly do much equestrian.
Those people are.
They're different.
They are weird.
You get back to the dealing with the people
They're
thing.
weird.
Yeah.
They're picky.
Yeah.
But, I guess they're paying a premium for
Sure.
it, so they get to be picky. But, man, they are picky.
Yeah. You're talking about horse people.
Horse
Yes.
people. Yeah. Equestrian folk.
Yeah,
Some of which are very fine folk. I have some
They
equestrian
are.
folk or
For
friends.
sure.
But some of them are also probably laundering money for the cartels, too.
Yeah. Yeah. That feels tough. It feels like, the horse market is kind of a propped up deal.
Oh,
Whereas-
yeah. It's like the painting or the art realm of
Yes.
the Hunter Bidens out there. Like,
Yeah.
well, I'm such and such, so this painting's automatically worth $500 million.
Right.
I thought-
Right.
Did somebody mention cocaine?
Yeah.
Why are you bringing him up?
Whereas like cows is connected to food.
Yeah.
But
So nobody gets paid shit.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know. There's probably nothing in that wondering, but
Yeah, I don't know, man. Artificial intelligence and self-guiding machinery. Like it or hate it?
Hate it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah. You think it's going to become more and more commonplace?
I think because of how the election went,
Yeah.
there's a good chance that it's not going to happen as fast as it would have otherwise.
Okay.
According to Trump, he says that he's going to do away with AI. So we'll see.
I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Me
Because
too.
it has become like an integrated, I don't even know what the right word, an integrated tool already
Yeah.
in so many facets of like the working society.
Well, I'd be interested to see how it goes too, because his new best friend happens
Oh,
to
yeah.
be.
Elon, yeah. What does Elon have? Groot?
grok.
Grok. That's right, yeah, because we used to call my buddy G-Rock, but this is Grok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grok sucks, though. Have you tried Grok?
Yeah.
Not very good.
No, so far grok sucks.
Grok could not drive
Right.
a tractor for Taylor Farms at this point.
Yeah.
I would not trust Grok.
But what you're putting out with AI is labor.
Yeah, exactly.
That
Yeah.
farmer's intuition. You're
Yeah.
you're turning working the land into an equation, and so it feels like you lose something in that,
Agree.
and so that feels tough.
Yeah, but you're also taking away all the mistakes. most of the mistakes.
Until something goes wrong.
Until something goes really wrong.
Now you have to have a whole new arsenal of somebody to call to come out to repair
Yes.
Yeah.
or
Yep.
diagnose. And
Yep.
I see you can, Danny, you can probably fix a lot of things, but reprogramming an AI, I don't know if that's in
Not
your
gonna
wheelhouse
happen.
or anybody here
Yeah.
at this table, as a matter of fact.
Not
So
gonna happen.
now you've got some neck-bearded software engineer that's like, you voted for Trump, I voted for I'm not coming out.
Yeah,
sorry.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sorry, you can't fix your machine on your own. Too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That gets tough. It's hard to see how we're not like upon the singularity as far as that is concerned.
I would think that we're close, but if you have people that are a large operation saying you would rather have human hands at work than a freaking.
And we've had some people tear some crap up.
Oh yeah,
Like we've had some doozies. Yeah.
And
just think how easy it would
GPS is extremely handy.
handy. Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
the precision
But
is
you're
there,
still there.
but
Yeah.
the human interface
Yes.
is still there,
Yes.
operating that tractor
Yes.
and just guided by a GPS.
And
And
just think how easy it'd be just to wake up on a Tuesday morning and get bell the 2,000 acres.
No, it's true.
Crazy.
I mean, I think about it.
They're
It's
just out
like
there. The machine's just working.
I mean, I haven't had a Roomba I liked yet that
There's
actually
always-
did the job as
efficiently.
well
Right.
as a human,
Right.
right? So we're not there to taking a machine out to a field and saying, okay, do your thing, find the boundaries, mathematically create the best way to
Yeah.
bell this field.
Well, I think they have them. I just don't think it's.
It all sounds
kinda
great
like
in
the
theory,
room,
but
yeah.
you could hit that button and then 5 minutes later, the tractor's down there and a ball of fire
In
still
the-
making the
in the
rounds.
Trinity.
Or,
Yeah.
or it runs over a shoelace and then it gets stuck.
But it's still trying to go because it
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
know anything's wrong.
Yeah.
So
right.
this might shock you, but do you know the city of Gainesville is the world's largest robotic mower? Whatever the word I'm looking for
Really?
as producer. They have a cemetery up there, and it's probably 3 times the size of our big one in town, and it's mowed by all robot mowers.
Oh wow.
It's insane looking.
Wow.
They all come alive like at 1 o'clock in the morning and just start.
Wow.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy though.
Maybe.
So their maintenance crew just goes out there and weed eats and they're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it does those things will do about 3 acres. I think they said in 8 hours.
Wow.
'Cause
Okay.
they're
they're
smaller mowers.
But and they're self-guided.
You go out there with an iPad and route them, and they each have their little population thing. When they go out and mow until the battery dies, and they recharge and they come back and finish up.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Pretty cool looking.
That's wild.
Yep.
So who knows?
So
5 years in the future.
We just
I'm
we're all
I'm
just
looking into them now.
with at the way that sounds. We just look like the people off Wall-E, and we're just
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I thought that animation.
Yeah, but I'm
That
looking.
cartoon was actually
foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm looking at them though, because if I can put one in a baseball field, and my dudes don't have to go out there.
yeah.
It takes up half of my freaking mowing time to where we can do more parks maintenance and all that stuff.
Sure.
Shoot, I'm gonna do it.
What do you like better, Danny? You like the farming operation with crops, or do you like the cattle and livestock end of it?
It probably depends on if he's running cows out of the highway or the baler's on fire.
Probably, I don't know, about the same, really.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Man, I got to where I hated cows. I love.
Really?
I'll
Yeah.
eat. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'll eat some. I'll be a champion always of eating beef for sure. But God, man, there was just a point, and that was like, okay, I need to be done with cows for now.
Oh, they can get very aggravating.
But there's also an agonizing part of operating machinery and having a breakdown in late July, August, and that field's got to be finished, whether you're having a heat stroke or not.
Yep.
So tough shit, right?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, the same way with cows, though. I mean, if they pick you up and throw you over and almost
Yeah.
impel you by a rod, you still got to get back up and get them in the trailer.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen that happen. All of our cows have always
Always
been
been
nice.
cows. That's right.
No cow has ever been hostile. Have y'all? What's your worst experience with getting ramrodded by a cow? Has it happened to y'all?
Oh, yeah, many
That's
times.
Doc's dip. I don't want that. What are
That's
you
my
even
stomach
covering
truck
it
you
up
just
for?
Oh, sorry. I didn't even see you spinning in it, you nasty bastard.
And I'm
Really?
sure that's going to sound great on the podcast. So you just
I
over
tell
there-
you, man.
What?
Mini wrecks.
Well,
Okay. Any that stand out?
Thanksgiving Day, probably 5 years ago, cow pinned me between the fence and the gate. I'm at the end of the gate, and she's got me in between the fence and the gate, just mashing the gate. And
Was
and the
anybody
gate-
around?
Clayton was there, but
Okay.
I mean, there was nothing. I mean, it happened so fast.
Yeah.
She come from across the pen, just had no idea she was crazy. Across the pen, hit me.
Was it an older cow? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they always know.
They're the worst.
Yeah,
They're the worst.
That's the same like with your dad when he broke his ankle.
yeah, and threw you over the fence.
That's the same
twice.
cow. Yeah.
Have you gotten a tangle with one, DeAnn?
No, I'm smarter than that. I don't get in there. I don't get in there with them. I've decided I'm too old and fat to run from cows. So
I'm with you.
That's
I'm
Yeah.
with
my
you.
worst.
100%.
they ride like they'll ride horses, and I ride the four wheeler. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not getting because he got bucked off of a horse. What was that? About 8 years ago, and broke a little bone in his back, and I was just like, yeah.
Did you have an injury from that cow?
Oh yeah. Well, no, nothing. Just black and blue. And
Oh,
ribs out
bruised.
of ribs out of place.
No breakages
No,
or anything.
no,
That's good. That's fortunate. You know, the vet down the road here.
Oh, it's bad.
You got messed
Yeah.
up pretty bad.
Bad.
It
Yeah.
was like I drove by and I saw ambulances and I made the call and I'm like, I don't know if he's going to pull through the way they were talking.
it was bad.
pretty freaking bad.
Yeah.
And this is someone that's been doing it and messing with cows for decades at
Well, it
this
can
point.
happen that fast. Just like this cow had no idea she's crazy. Come
Yeah.
from across the pen with other cattle in there, and then
Too late.
it was too late.
Jesus. Yeah, that's a lot of beef. That's a lot. 1,100-pound animal
Yeah.
can throw their weight around pretty
Yeah.
efficiently.
At what point do you call a cow old?
13, 14, 15 years.
Okay.
I-
Okay. And
But there was always this thing, like when we culled them off here, like if they didn't go back out with the rest of the herd, it's like they knew where they were headed.
yeah,
And they turned. They just knew. They were like, you ain't taking me in, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Just come
I
at-
do. I do think they sense something.
They absolutely sense something. They're intelligent animals.
They are.
They form like bonds and friendships with other cows. A lot of people don't know that. So,
They sure do.
and I think a lot of animal rights activists take the element of stewardship away from raisers and producers because they don't ever showcase how much care and how much love and how much time and affection goes into raising those animals. Yeah, they're going to be food, but that doesn't mean you're an asshole. It means you're a good steward of raising this animal. Like that's the essence of it being. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this. An advocate for animal rights is an advocate for animal stewardship, like taking care. It's an investment, but it's also a living being until the time for them to go. Like,
Yeah.
well, you're growing a herd,
yeah.
right?
Do your best to make our steaks taste good. I got you.
Speaking of animal
Yeah.
activists, they said that I guess it was Black Friday or whatever that at
No, we can't
South.
call it that no more.
I forgot that's racist. that the animal activists were at the South Lake Town Square at oh my gosh, what is the store that makes the purses?
Oh, you lost me there.
Oh God.
But anyway,
Doc, I know.
no,
Gucci.
No,
They're all
makes
there.
the purses.
Anyway, but they were out there yelling and screaming at.
Because of leather.
Oh yeah, wanting. Listen to this. How dumb they are, though. They were chanting, "How many cows got dehorned today to make this purse?" And it's like,
What?
0.
what the actual hell? Like, no,
There was no horns hurt in the making of this purse.
Yeah, like they said, it was absolutely over the top. Just it was Coach.
Oh my God.
It was Coach.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, and they said that. I mean, they were like getting
Wow.
after it, just like I mean,
horns.
they were upset about the dehorning, and I'm like, and Danny was like, "Well, they don't need to come to our operation. We saw ours off with a saw. Like
Yeah,
they
right.
And then do y'all cauterize them with a hot iron?
they would have. They
Nah,
would,
he's-
Let them bleed.
yeah.
Do you really?
They'll
Okay.
stop. They'll eventually either bleed out or stop, but they've never bled out completely. They'll stop.
We cauterize.
And canceled.
We can always cauterize
That's
with a hot
why we
iron.
did it. That's why
Back
my
in the
dad
day,
did it.
yeah.
I can still smell that.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Like that
Oh, yeah.
smell just does not go away.
No.
But yeah, so never mind the horns that are actually harvested to make glue to probably
Yeah.
glue
Right.
together their phones
right.
that are
Right.
made by fucking
Exactly.
2-year-olds
Yeah.
in China
Yeah.
Exactly.
with child labor so they can
Yeah.
broadcast their virtue signaling on
Oh.
social media.
Exactly.
They some actual there was Friday night, there was actually people down there, and they were talking about it. They actually encountered them, and they were just saying how absolutely just dumb it was. Like, they were just all upset over these cattle getting dehorned. And I was like,
Bless their hearts.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is when you know that we really, truly don't have a lot of societal issues.
Right.
Like, we
Right.
may
Okay,
have
that's
some
a valid point.
We might have some
Yeah.
issues,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
life's not that bad here.
Right.
No,
specifically.
that's what I've said all along. It's because it's so good here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're so lazy and we don't have no worries that
We have to create.
We're
We have to create
creating.
one.
I'm
Yeah.
pissed off because you're cutting cows. First of all, horns off of your cows to make purses.
Yeah. Yeah. When are they going to get angry about cutting balls off?
When they're hungry. Oh no! When are they
Well.
going to get angry?
Yeah,
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you're cutting the balls off.
Avenge avenge the bulls or the steers. Avenge the steers. How dare
Oh
they?
man, that becomes combinatorially explosive.
Oh, yeah.
We can't go down that subject. The cutting of balls. Yeah, that's true.
Is this like or like a literal thing or a symbolism thing about getting married or something like that?
No, I'm just saying it's like we live in a training world.
Yeah, they haven't really gone after the balls.
No, they haven't.
It's because they don't
Because
know.
That's probably because they don't know exactly.
They're probably
You're
eating
right.
them.
Yeah, and they're not protesting
Yeah.
calf fries.
Yeah.
That
Man,
are
some
pretty
good
tasty.
old calf fries. I haven't had calf fries in like a year.
It's been it's been too long.
good.
Do you both
Yeah.
eat calf fries?
Oh, no.
Oh, really?
No. That's disgusting.
Most definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, no.
Same here. You can
I
do
mean,
it.
I've never thought to myself, let's try some nuts. No, never.
I mean, you've been married for a long time, ma'am. You can't say that, can you?
She
Well-
don't like deer meat.
You're turning really, really red over there.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know. That's disgusting.
You
What?
say you don't like deer meat?
No, I don't.
Oh my.
I mean, it's not my
God.
favorite either.
Oh my god.
Now, like, if you chicken fry some up and I don't know that it's deer meat and you plop it down, I'm going to eat it. And
Yeah.
you know what
So
I mean?
there's a
No.
restaurant. Was it Catfish O'Harley's? Maybe. There's a restaurant that does it like on Thursdays. You can go get calf fries.
Yeah, could be.
I don't remember. Maybe it's not here. What was the old restaurant? where-
Bono's used to.
Bono's. That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking.
Bono's
of.
did
used
it.
to. Brandy's, I thought, did it on occasion too.
Maybe I don't
I
remember.
don't know. We need to make calf
But the-
fries great again, though.
Yeah, because the Bono's
Yes.
one weren't.
Somebody-
They weren't bad.
You have political involvement. Can you get a message up to Trump?
Yeah.
I would love
Make nuts
to.
a great again.
I would love to. Speaking of that, looky there.
What is this?
What is this? Oh, President Biden has pardoned his son Hunter
Of
after
course,
previously.
yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah,
Imagine that.
yeah.
Wow. I mean, we have to leave because I'm so shocked.
I know,
Yeah.
and that's
Can't continue.
Yeah, that's tough.
Jesus.
It's like, was Hunter the victim in all that?
Victim.
Yeah. I
There's
don't know.
many words to describe that guy. I don't think victim is
Well,
one.
that's
victim's
true.
one.
That's like coke snorting. Never
But
mind.
I mean, can you blame him if you're
Yeah.
Biden?
I would probably, if I
mean,
was his
who
son,
else-
I'd be
who
like,
else?
oh God, I'd rebel
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Another hot topic: changing weather patterns. You guys have a decade on us, and then I'm sure you're involved with many farmers who are older
How
than
do you
dirt
think
around
they
here.
are?
There he
They're
is
on a
calling you
decade.
guys old
That's-
again.
I
Well,
tell you.
He's
one
been
is
ruthless
technically in their
tonight.
50s. Okay, a decade on me at least. But so they've had a little more time on the earth
sorry.
to observe things, which was going to be my point, and talk
As
with
farmers, no less.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And talk with other farmers that have had even more time to observe things such as weather patterns. Are they really changing, or is it all hearsay, or is it hocus pocus, or is there some validity in his favorite word, validity to this?
I, for one, do believe there's validity to it.
Yep, same.
Yeah, I believe that the government is involved in actively trying to change our weather.
Chemtrails
patterns.
are real.
So you're gonna get
Call
into
me
some-
whatever.
Chemtrails. I told you. Chemtrails
Yes,
are real.
chemtrails are real.
Oh yeah.
They're real. There's lots of people that
Lots of people.
think it's real. And
But
there's
you're not a flat earther, right?
no,
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Or a vegan.
no,
Okay, you're still
Hell
welcome
no.
on the show then.
no. I love
Not
no.
that we want to down flat earthers.
I mean, we kind of do.
That's
Do you know personally?
how are you
flat
going to
earthers?
equate flat earthers with vegans? I mean, really.
They're both pretty crazy people.
I mean, really.
Yes. We're
I mean-
not trailing down that.
Okay.
Yes.
DeAnn
Okay.
has the table here with government manipulated weather.
I think
That's a global
I
thing,
just think
right?
that I think there's so much information out there that people are like they just try to claim ignorance about so much stuff, but like it's out there. All you got to do is like use your brain and like look at some of this stuff and different people, but it's all out there. It's in the open. I mean, people are talking about it. Just people choose to turn a blind eye to it or not want to hear it, but I definitely think that chemtrails are real.
Okay.
Call me cray-cray, call me conspiracy, call me whatever.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah, go ahead. He's calling in a.
Is this
he's
an episode name?
He's gonna call me in a prescription for whatever.
Oh no, yeah.
But I
DeAnn,
do.
I need to see you in my office on
Yes.
Tuesday.
I'm actually
Tomorrow.
going. Yeah, I'm actually going tomorrow. Yeah. So, but yeah, I definitely think that they're manipulating the weather.
Okay, so I'll say recently, in the last 6 months, there was the flooding in like the Middle East in the United Arab Emirates.
Dubai.
Yeah, Dubai.
Yeah.
And local testimonials were like, it's because they are cloud seeding
They
shit
caused
here.
it. Yeah.
So
And guess what? It worked. It flooded us out when historically it doesn't do this shit.
year before last, this is true story. My daughter and I and the grandkids were headed to Florida to the beach. We stopped the other side of Shreveport to get gas. And I sat there and I videoed it on my phone for 45 minutes and watched an airplane that literally just like made a circle. And it was military. It was a military airplane that would sit there and circle with this just white sheet of crap coming out from behind it. What was that?
I don't know.
I mean,
That's
what was
odd.
it? I mean,
Historically, Chance would have said a contrail.
Yeah, well, no.
yeah, but
she's
those
talking about a
dissolve.
circular
Yeah,
shit.
and those dissolve. I mean, like
Contrails are
Yes.
straight and from point A to point B. If she's talking about a sheet that
I'm
that
talking about it
lingers-
was like wide. Yes,
Yeah.
it was like something wide, and I mean we videoed it and
And the guy's
watched it.
flying in circles.
And the guy was and it was a military grade plane, and it literally I sat there for 45 minutes and watched it. And I mean, so what were they doing?
I don't know. That's my question is like,
Yeah.
what is their overall agenda and their purpose to be manipulating weather patterns?
Who are they?
That's a good question too. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
who do you hypothesize
I mean,
they
I
would
definitely okay. So I've watched videos where they're gritting the hell out of an area, and you can see like these chemtrails, contrails, whatever,
Yeah.
lining up and yeah, it's very compelling.
Suddenly it's a cloudy day.
Yeah,
Absolutely compelling.
So do you think it's a combative thing against global warming or climate, whatever term they want to give it, during the year? They change often depending on weather patterns. Like it's a record snowing year, record cold, and they're like, well, it's climate change. Don't call it global warming. Or if it's a record hot year and there's a lot of drought, then they say, well, it's global warming, but it's climate change.
I have maybe a simpler question, but what is airspace above 400 feet? Like who owns airspace? I say 400 feet because whenever I got a drone, basically they said, okay, you can fly this up to 400, and then you can't fly it above that because that's
So
illegal.
would it depend on where you're flying?
You get into commercial aircraft space at that, or at least that's their reason.
Federally controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
But you're hearing some, or is it?
It's like American Airlines doesn't own that space, above 400
No.
feet.
The FAA does. Or are they just wanting to hide something?
Yeah, the federal government.
So
I
this
don't think nobody technically owns it.
That's interesting.
is
I think
controlled.
I think it's controlled.
Control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, that's
So
wild.
who do you think they are?
I mean, I think it's a lot of evil government, and I think it's a lot of people who own evil government.
Is this an evil government on the scale of the United States or a global
I think it's global. Yeah.
evil government? The
I'm writing it down.
The deep state.
Oh, it's deep state and it's global and it's I mean, I think it's all of the above.
So don't you love how these episodes work? And look where we're at from construction to farming, and here we landed the global.
But
deep
I
state.
don't think the chemtrails. I don't think they're not cloud seeding through that. I
Okay.
mean, we've seen that vapor all of our lives.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but-
and they dissipate.
But
they dissipate.
the thing is, though, is I think that's the point, is that we have seen them all our lives,
So we don't
and they
question.
do dissipate.
But why would a commercial airlines?
It's not commercial airlines; it's military planes,
Well,
I
maybe
believe.
so. But
So what
a
if
lot of
you've-
the chemtrails we see is from commercial.
Commercial,
airlines.
yeah,
Right.
that's what you would see in a straight line, but
Yeah.
not in a circle with
Right.
something that literally
Right.
lingers
Yeah,
throughout the hours.
yeah.
That's interesting. So one of the more, this kind of feels like a tangent, but it's not really a tangent. You just have to take my faith on that. But one of the more compelling testimonials that I've had, not around chemtrails specifically, but around things are changing, was Lynn from the meat market. Okay, so he went on his hunt. Okay, we actually talked about this in episode 100.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So, great episode. Go listen to it too. But he went on this hunt way up north to ban, what's the island? Way up north.
It's in the Arctic
Circle.
Circle. Yeah, it's not
Right.
Kodiak, which is south. I don't know. I don't remember the name of the island, but he was up there in like bona fide Eskimo territory.
Yeah, yeah. And so he had talked to the chief of this tribe who had been around, and he felt compelled enough to say that the chief thought this warming was happening because of the receding of the ice that had happened in their territory, I guess. And so I thought that was fairly compelling. As a kind of a personal testimony
it was
that
more
the
than
weather
just-
patterns are
Just
changing.
it was more than just anecdotal. It was like
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't taking it from some
observatory evidence.
right. You know, the chief of this tribe that's been around for a long time said, no, things have obviously changed over the past 50 years.
But if I was Heath, I would tell you, well, he's probably a Biden administration plant.
But don't y'all think that's the thing? That is the one, to me, the positive thing that happened in 2016 when Trump did become president. Because before that, nobody really questioned anything, right? Like you,
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of went with the ebb and
valid
flows of, you know,
Yeah.
the economy's good sometimes, it's bad sometimes. But then Trump came in. And to me, that was like the first time in American history where people like started sitting back and like going, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Especially when the 2020 election rolled around.
Yeah, and then compounded by COVID.
Yeah, exactly. And then all of a sudden, you know, Biden, who couldn't draw flies at his
Funeral.
rallies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all of a sudden, this guy got 80 million votes, and that to me, that's when I think of the American people like started kind of sitting back and going, okay, wait a minute, this is off, this is not right.
Yeah.
Before Trump, nobody thought about it. Yes, our government was evil. It's been evil for a really, really long time, but we didn't really question anything.
Yeah, it didn't affect us to
Right.
the degree that it
Right.
does now.
Yeah.
So I think you're 100%. It's like people all of a sudden, normal people, like I used to think it was just Heath and I that would sit around and just kind of question everything,
Yeah.
period.
And I'm one of them people too. Like, unfortunately, like I'm that person. Like, I'm the person that, like, he's laid back and I'm like, I'm the one going, no.
You got to
no.
find some way to sleep
Yeah.
at night,
Yeah,
right,
no.
Danny? Like,
That's right.
But all of a sudden now it's cool to be a conspiracist.
Yeah, I love it. Call me that.
I got to write that
cool.
one down.
Oh, okay, that's a good title for the "Cool to Be Conspiracist."
Yeah.
Featuring discussions about farming and construction. But here we are. Here we are.
Yeah. So,
then
but
there's-
I think you're right. People are talking
Yeah.
more. They're sitting around, maybe not taking on the viewpoint they're given through the media. They're not just like, oh yeah, I think that's true.
But then there are like government-funded agencies that outright say, "Yeah, we're manipulating the weather. We're paid to do it." DARPA. I was
Yes.
going to look that. I don't remember what it stands for.
That's the one. I remember somebody putting it on where you can actually go to like one of the military websites and they talk all about it. Like,
Department of Defense responsible for the development
Thank you.
of new technologies. That doesn't sound nefarious at all.
right, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing great things, noble things that shouldn't be questioned whatsoever.
Yeah, they're creating cannons that can bully you from the inside.
Yes.
Oh yeah, so there was a big theory about Cuba. What did they call it? It was like where the Russians were emitting microwaves into the United States embassy there, and what did they call it? Cuban syndrome or something like Havana syndrome. That's what it was called. So there was nothing indicating anything was going on, like as we sit in this room, but somebody's aiming a microwave beam into us, and suddenly we feel weird, we feel faint, fuzzy, can't think. People's teeth, their teeth were falling out the next week, and there was no, it was unexplainable.
Yeah.
Did this happen?
This really happened. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, we can look up.
But look at that. I mean, just even looking at what that says, it says expand the frontiers of technology and science, often beyond immediate U.S. military requirements. I mean,
What is beyond?
Hello? Yeah.
Just tell us about that. What does
Yeah.
beyond exactly mean?
right.
Oh, this goes all the way back to the Eisenhower
Yes.
administration.
Who
Yes.
warned us of this very entity
Yes.
in his exit address?
Yes. He did.
Might have known something.
Oh yeah, Eisenhower knew
But
something.
here we are in the battlefront of the Ukraine and Russia, and that's the new excuse for organizations like this to ramp up whatever the hell it is they're doing.
Right.
So it's money. Boils down to money.
Always.
Somebody benefits from it.
Yeah, it's not that easy, right? Because how many people work for this industrial entity, which is like the military industrial complex?
How many people work for them? And
I mean, it's not
like,
just about DARPA. It's all the employees at Boeing.
Yeah, but how? Yeah, exactly. You could be working for a subsidiary of that entity, but
Lockheed
never know
Martin.
it.
Right.
So you have no guilty conscience.
Right.
Like, I'm making weapons that control the weather.
Yeah, but they're just going to work every day.
That's what I'm saying. They're not conscientious of it.
Yep.
But in fact, they are working for an organization that produces.
Yeah, who's pulling the strings though?
I don't know. This goes back to that they.
Yeah, it does. It does. It
George
always goes back to that
freaking
thing.
Soros.
Yeah. There you go.
I
Oh
heard
my gosh.
that guy was wanted for war crimes, I believe, and they can't put this guy in a, or just give him a little pill.
Yeah, who's going to hunt him down? And are we going to approve of the people who have that power?
I don't know. It's like
That's tough.
It's like the old adage of just creating a what is it? If you take out, you still create a vacuum, and something has to fill that vacuum.
Yeah.
So when you take out one evildoer, another evildoer comes into play.
Yeah. That's that's tough.
Boils down to God and Satan. Which
So-
brings us to our next
Oh wow.
quote here, sponsored by Heath Taylor. I want you to
right.
read that out loud.
Okay.
Whatever.
No, wait, not me.
I'm assuming
Heath.
we have a table full of not only scientific
Well, this
people
was-
here, but godly people.
This was
here
put
at
on there
desk.
for a while back too. So I don't even know if I have the.
Is this from a TikTok video, bro?
No, it was from a might have been from a YouTube, but I don't even think it was.
Oh,
I don't
even
I
more
don't even think it was a
credible.
video. I think it was an ad that I had on my phone.
Well, why don't you read that out to the good listeners of the show?
This was for Conspiracy Crossroads. Which
We don't
we've
have the
been-
music.
We've been going down.
We're unprofessional.
Because
'Cause we're unprofessional.
You deleted it too?
I also deleted it too.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
It says, do you know how God made water, not science? So it's basically saying God had to make the water, not science, because water is the only thing in the universe that you know the ingredients for, but you can't make it.
That's cool, but that's false.
How is it
We
false?
can make water.
How do you make water?
The Heisenberg. What was the big blimp?
Heisenberg.
The big, yeah, he could probably make
He
it.
could probably make
Hydrogen
some.
blimp?
Yeah,
The one that blew up?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. It starts with H.
Hindenburg.
Yeah.
Hindenburg.
Yeah.
Yeah. When that thing blew up, it made water. When a hydrogen powered car emits tailpipe emissions, it's water.
I think it just created the conditions so water could form on its own.
Yeah.
No,
They did not create water because if they did, why aren't we making it right now?
because
Why are we
in order
relying
to,
on Bridgeport Lake to make sure we have enough water?
because it's something that nature provides. It's already there in abundance, and
It's not in abundance because we just had an episode with a group of people that water's not in abundance.
It is in abundance enough that we have a planet made of 95% water.
Well, I know, but you weren't saying this when we had the people where they're crapping about not having water. You were like, "Oh yeah, I understand. We don't have enough water."
He's got you in a circle, dude.
I know, but that's what he's not even let me make the point about his point that he posted on here.
I'm saying
So we can't
make it.
Yes, we can.
Why don't we?
Because the process is a massively, dangerously combustive process. The theme of the night is to scale that up to an amount that people can consume. We would probably blow up the whole damn world.
So it's not scalable. It's scalable. It's doable, but it's not scalable.
Yeah,
kind of like
nuclear power.
Farming is scalable.
When you have to merge two high. I don't know.
That's it.
Oh, it's Danny.
Oh, okay.
Phone vibrating.
Is it important?
No.
We can pause if it's important.
Your baler on fire.
I mean, on this show, we live as if somebody is always listening in.
Yes.
So that's
somebody is always.
I'm glad to know it's just your phone. I actually marked the timestamp from earlier to figure out where that ding is coming from because I don't know.
Yeah, we've never heard that ding.
Yeah, that was nobody's phone.
Yeah.
It was just the government letting us know they're listening.
Yeah, it's something in the roof probably.
So to make water, you have to combine two hydrogen elements and an oxygen, right? And in order to fuse those together, you have to have a massive amount of energy. Ergo, blowing up a blimp made of hydrogen, or combusting it in a vehicle that has a hydrogen engine, but it's your tailpipe emissions are just droplets. So
it's not scalable.
It's not scalable, but it is. Yeah. You can make water.
I think what he's saying is God figured out how to scale it.
I believe
so.
God made and the periodic table of elements. Those are elements that are not reproducible by man. You can't. Those are individualized molecules and elements that.
There you go. 100% whiskey bro fact check.
It came from divinity or where the hell ever. But those, no, you cannot make.
Oh man, I don't know where we were going with that one.
I don't either.
I was just disproving his statement here.
So you think Trump was a big deal?
Of course I do.
Okay. I say that. I mean, I've had long conversations with you.
Yeah.
You know, but which is cool. But
do I think he's God? No. Do I think he's?
I hope God would be a lot better. Have a lot better hair.
I mean, do I think he's perfect? And no, but
I think God's probably bald.
Yes.
Well, I see the favoritism that's going on in here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would say that sentiment matches a lot of people around me.
Yeah, I get so tired of, the people on social media that, oh, you Trump people think he's God. No, we don't. No, we don't. But we do think that he's probably one of the best people for such a time as this.
Yeah.
So you're hopeful
I am.
For this next period.
Yeah, I am.
I did not vote for Trump in 2016. I did not vote, period, in 2020, but you bet your ass I voted for Trump in 2024 because God, something has to help out this current shit situation that we are in.
Yeah.
So it's your fault.
What is my
we
fault?
had to go through Biden.
No.
Yeah, because I think
I didn't. That was not a vote for Biden.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a vote for the opposite either.
Where I get tied in knots is trying to figure out if, I mean, because I'm taking on faith. I know I've talked about this. This is nothing new. I'm taking on faith that we're in a shit situation. Obviously, there's a war going on in Ukraine, and the Israel, forces are trying to kill the Gaza forces, and there's some real shit stuff happening that I take on faith. But in the end, like I did drive here in my Telsa, it's like with my heated seats, right? They were a little too hot. Like I started the Telsa when I was still at home. Thinking, okay, I'm going to go to the podcast tonight in 5 minutes, so I'm going to start the Telsa, and I get in
the heat going,
and these seats they're a little too warm, so they kind of make my crack like start sweating a little bit.
Can you preheat your seats in your tractors yet?
No.
Well, that's a problem.
But all that to say, it's like I take it on faith, and this is after I just like gotten off the bidet. Right. So, it's like I'm taking on faith a lot of shit situation that may or may not actually be shit situation.
So agreed. Like I say all the time, I'm not in Israel, so like, how do I even really know what's going on over there? Like, I'm not trying to be callous or uncaring, but how? And like Ukraine and Russia, you know, Russia's bad, Ukraine's good. No, I don't see it like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like, my deal is we're not over there. We really don't have a clue because they've already admitted, like they show footage from wars like 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And they try to pass it as what's going on over there today. No.
Like you have to vet your source as best you can and hope that they're sending you accurate info.
Exactly.
But after that, it's like, I mean, it's all up in the air to what is real and what's not.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, but all that to say, I'm kind of with you.
Yeah.
Like,
and the whole Israel thing is baffling to me because, you know, of course, as Christians, and we're supposed to, you know, they say, you know, you're supposed to back Israel, you're supposed to, but Israel.
Again, who is they? So,
right, exactly. Because are you going to tell me that Israel's government can't be as evil as our government is?
Dang
and
right.
like, so I just think that like, just so many things that we don't really have a clue about that, again, we just are told about, and then so many people just take it as face value because the 6 o'clock news said it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really for the generation that's even older than Danny and I, because, you know, like I'm when I tell y'all, like before 2020, I would listen to like WBAP, I'd listen to Mark Levin and all them.
Oh, yeah.
The first time that they said President Biden, when I tell you that we turned it off, we turned it off.
Yeah.
We did not. We no longer watched Fox News. We didn't watch any of it. I mean, I got my information from like a few real cray people on.
So like the
online.
day after
I
the
was done.
2020 elections.
I was done. We never listened to it again.
Yeah.
We don't even listen to the weather.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I can't.
I think that's a notable.
But I think the generation,
observation.
the 60 and 70-year-olds, they're not like that because they still think the media's.
See, okay. So this will be interesting. So COVID happened, and then the Trump-Biden election happened. It's like, what actually sent you off the cliff, right? Was it because I was there? I went off the same cliff, right? And it's like COVID happened. Okay, there were some things that didn't feel right about COVID happening at the time, but I was scared, being medical and all. But then the Trump Biden election happened, and like the very next day, I went off that cliff. Right? I feel like a lot of people give that similar story to me as well. You know, it's like, wow, I'm with you, bro.
For me, I don't know for Danny, but like for me, COVID from day one felt off for me.
Yeah, that's
because
another reason I couldn't vote for Trump, because he was behind the whole warp speed, and he kind of not militarized, but I don't know. Do you know
militarized, industrialized,
and maybe industrialized or authoritized?
Are you talking about the vax?
The vax and just and shutdowns and like
right. That was so dumb.
Yeah,
I agree.
He was in office after it went on the 2-week shutdown.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. That was not handled correctly. And let's be real about who brought Fauci on. Mm-hmm. And I can't stand that guy.
I need some whiskey on this one.
But no, COVID felt off for me because I'm like, why do some people have to be tested to even know they have it? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was the people that had zero symptoms.
They needed
Do you
statistics.
remember that? But then all of a sudden people were getting tested and they got COVID, but they wanted
zero
data.
Symptoms. They wanted the data so they could manipulate it to authoritize. Is that the right word? Is that even an English word?
It works. It doesn't matter whether it's right or not. You just made it up. Mm-hmm. So, but authoritize.
You get the gist.
Yeah.
Like
I think it's a great word.
Authority of how you run your daily life. In 2 weeks, well, no, sorry, it's not 2 weeks. Now it's a month. Now it's 15 weeks.
But you know, a lot of people say, and this is one of them things that we don't know because who knows? Who knows what the truth is? But they said that at the time, hydrochloroquine was listed on the CDC as a
treatment
vaccine.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people will say that that's what Trump was referring to when he would say.
Well, I knew whenever he kind of alluded to something that he got a lot of shit for.
Yeah. He should have, because I don't know about y'all, but maybe some of y'all are vaxxed with it. I don't know, but I'm not.
Nope.
I mean, I just couldn't do it.
We are all pure bloods at this table.
Yeah, I was just like, we're
I
not.
don't know about Danny though.
No,
are you,
he's not.
Are you
No.
pure blood?
Yeah.
No, I just was like, I told all of my family, I'm like, no,
Yeah.
something just doesn't. This is off.
Yeah.
The messaging was off.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you. It was.
And also, like, and I hate to say this because you're a doctor, but I feel
say it.
like the medical industry in general failed people anyway, because what I couldn't understand was like early on there was that doctor out in West Texas, Dr. Bartlett, who said you can take budesonide
at the time.
you can take this other antibiotic, and then
Azithromycin.
yes, and then but at that time he wasn't using the ivermectin tablets.
Sure.
It was just those two medicines.
I took ivermectin. I mean,
Yeah, and so like he was treating people left and right with that medicine, and he even went on TV and was talking about how it works. Like I have people who are in the throes of cancer on, they're taking chemotherapy, and I haven't lost one patient. And then here in Decatur, you went to urgent care and they were like, go to the ER and let's throw you on a vent and we'll give you some what was the medicine?
That was funny.
To shut your kidneys down and then wonder why you can't get rid of the fluid. I mean,
Yeah, they didn't have
Remdesivir.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
Because you did have doctors with dissenting voices, but they got squished.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're
So why were people not being treated is my question. Why were you being told go to the ER and
it
die?
was super. The whole time was super funny and sketchy. I had an old doc who ended up an old area doc. I won't implicate him, but who asked me to prescribe him budesonide, and then the pharmacy. So I did, and then the pharmacy called me on his prescription that day and said I had no authority to prescribe budesonide.
That's troublesome.
Yeah, and okay, so yet there was like one of the 100th signs
Red
that
flags.
said, yeah, it was a red flag, but I didn't even have the context to put this red flag in its proper place at the time. It was like one of those, holy shit, I don't know what to do with this information. But yeah, it's like, yeah, it was super weird.
Well, I will say that October, that COVID, when COVID first hit, that October, I guess I had it because I've never been tested for it. But I really thought I had a sinus infection. We were hauling hay in New Mexico and started feeling kind of rough, and I thought, well, I'm getting a sinus infection. And the next morning,
I got it for DeAnn, but she hadn't tried it yet, so I guess it's yours if you
You
want.
don't drink Trulies?
no, I don't drink.
Okay.
So the next morning, I woke up and I poured me a glass of orange juice and I took a drink and I was like,
Can't taste it.
yeah. So I go in the bathroom and I like squirt my perfume and I'm like, couldn't smell
Gone.
it. So I thought, well, I got COVIDs, I got the vids. And so,
Got the Rona.
Yeah, I got Rona. So I literally, this was before he was my doctor. So I literally, and at the time I had seen that Dr. Bartlett on the news like in April. So I call out to West Texas. I just look him up and I call out there and I got like this weird recording and I thought, okay, this is weird. Like 5 minutes later, my cell phone rings back. It's Dr. Bartlett himself.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I was like, wow. And anyway, I said, I'm not being tested. And he was like, no need to be tested. He said, clearly you have COVID. He called my pharmacy, called me in budesonide, I took it, and like 5 days later, I was
Better.
fine.
Doc, but why do you think it affected so many people differently? Why do you think some people died, healthy people died, and other people that was so healthy, it was just like she and I, it was just a cold?
Yeah. I think that virus was engineered in the lab to exploit our biology, and we can get into like ACE inhibitors and or the ACE2 receptor, actually that's more correct. But yeah, it was engineered in the lab to kind of be a new thing, and a lot of people's bodies treated it like a totally new thing.
Do we know why?
He had it. He had like you
I
had a
had
couple
bad
rounds.
COVID.
Like I called him once.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm spiraling the fucking drain,
Yeah.
and I had it. Never.
I had
knew
to call
it.
the
Yeah,
local
that's
hospice
me.
company and get a oxygen concentrator, and I lived on that for about a week. It
But
sucked.
I didn't even have the symptoms of no taste and no smell.
Yeah. Had I not lost my taste and smell, I'd have thought I just had a
I
regular
didn't feel
sinus.
that.
I mean,
I
I
didn't feel
wasn't
that
that
bad.
sick. The
That's what's weird
flu
to
is
me.
way worse.
Yeah.
The flu is way worse than COVID for me.
I knew a lot of people, had a lot of patients that didn't have anything but a positive test, right? Okay. And then others that it was like, dude, it was bad. It was bad.
Currently, my wife is suffering from long COVID. And she went to Peter McCullough, who was one of those dissenting voices of doctors that you wouldn't have ever known about his name except for the long format podcasts like Rogan. I think he was on Peterson too.
And all the shit he got.
Yeah, and all the shit he
Right?
got, like threats, literally threats against this man. He offices or practices in McKinney, right? So
Yep.
she finally got an appointment because one, he's a world-renowned cardiologist, but an expert on COVID, and she did her labs with him, and he said, "Yes, you have long COVID." But you know what he gave her? A nicotine patch. He
That
said,
was a first. I had not personally heard of that.
nicotine is absolutely 100% effective in combating the spike proteins of COVID. So all the
Wow.
people that they thought had this comorbidity of being a smoker, and they all miraculously survived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicotine played a factor in that.
It's, and I have to caution people against, just because something seems to help, you can't draw judgments as to why.
I wouldn't
That's
suggest
the art
like
of medicine.
taking up a pack a day habit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your wife seemed to she felt better after she started the nicotine patches. Well, I can't.
It's wild.
You say
Talk
that,
against that.
but we go down a rabbit hole on cigarettes too, if you want to.
Yeah. Okay.
We need to put
I
a
love
disclaimer
cigarettes.
out.
I mean,
It's not the cigarettes that's killing us. Because if you go to China and you go to Thailand and you go to Italy, those cats are sucking down 3 packs a day and going out and doing Pilates in the garden. And you know what have you looked up the lung cancer deaths in those 3 places are?
I have not.
Not even top 5.
Same with Italy.
Wow. I just said that.
Did you say Italy? I didn't hear you say.
Damn,
And
that's
they
like
eat
saying
pasta
it's
and
not
carbs.
it's not the McDonald's hamburgers that are actually
No, that's what
making us fat.
it's all the sugar and crap that we eat. That's what's killing us.
I
'Cause
still don't think I would suggest picking up a 3-pack a day habit.
I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying it might not be the cigarettes that's
Yeah.
killing us.
Not that some people shouldn't enjoy a good,
No, don't cool
Cigarette.
smoke ever.
yeah.
No, cool smoking's gay.
I was going to say, you do bash everybody you see smoking a cigarette.
Yes.
So
Well, only.
it sounds like you're paid off by China now, bro. I think he is the proverbial
Yeah,
they we're
that's-
talking about.
Well, that don't make
He's
sense
been bought.
because they would be paying me to make you cool smoke because
So
it's probably coming from them now.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I think the point of your story is like if you feel like you have long COVID, maybe put a cigarette patch on, but don't put 5 of them because you'll probably die.
Yeah, there's such a thing as ODing on nicotine.
There is.
I wonder what that feels like.
Oh, it's like your first dip of Copenhagen.
So pure
That's
euphoria.
what it's like.
And then
yeah.
You're gonna get
Dead.
a little drunk and puke.
Yeah. That's-
Do you dip, Danny?
I do.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if you had a vice or not, but you do. You
I
dip.
do.
Copenhagen?
No, grizzly long cut.
Okay. What is it? You have
Stokers. And I won't knock the Grizzly or the Copenhagen. If somebody bought me a can of Copenhagen, I would dip it.
I sure
For
tried
sure.
back in the day because it was like, you grow up around here. It's like, it's what you do.
Yeah,
dip.
Copenhagen.
Do y'all dip? Y'all don't dip. Oh, it's
No,
disgusting.
I smoke cigars occasionally. If my life insurance agent is listening to this, I never smoke cigars. Ever. I just put them in my mouth. And
So ew.
yeah. I did not inhale that cigar. I'll tell you what. I added a new note. So is your father, is he still with us?
No, no,
okay.
no.
How long ago did you lose him?
6 years ago.
Okay.
Is that about right?
What about your father, DeAnn?
Lost him in 2018.
So yet again, Doc's the only dickhead at the table.
Privileged
Yeah.
with the father, yeah. So, I added this note because, one, I miss my dad and being able to work with him. God, we butted heads so much. The father and son family business dynamic is indescribable. It's agonizing, but also rewarding. So we'll start with you and your father first. How did that dynamic work between you two?
We did not work good together
Yeah.
at all. at all. Clayton and I work perfect together.
Okay.
I
Because
mean,
Clayton says I keep my mouth shut.
well, no, he's a thinker. He's a thinker.
Yeah.
And but he and I work really good together.
What?
Me and my father could not work together.
Well,
I don't know why.
You're probably at that time a younger man with creative ideas,
Yeah.
a little more ambition, and your father's dyed in the wool and like, no, this is the way it's going to be. It's the way it's.
Yep.
I've found success, and nobody's changing that.
Yep.
But that's good though. So Clayton comes to the table, I'm guessing, with creativity and some. But you've had that working dynamic with your father, so maybe you have that wisdom of, okay, I can listen to some things and be willing to change or adapt.
Well, as Clayton says, he says all the time that I give Dad an idea, and then Dad has to make it his idea,
Okay.
and then it's good.
One of these days you'll get the credit, Clayton.
So
One
he
of these
favors
days.
you.
No, he loves his dad, but yeah, Clayton is he's definitely not a child of his time, I would say. I mean, he is
An old soul.
and both of our kids too. Like our daughter has. I mean, she's got 4 kids, and she's like one of the best. Seriously, one of the best moms. Like, I look at her sometimes and I think, you cannot be my child, because she has like all these patience and all this, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't have that amount of patience for 2 kids, let alone 4. But Clayton is. He is literally one of the hardest working people I've ever met in my entire life. Like, and people are all the time are like, well, is he, you think he'll get married? Well, eventually he'll get married. But like right now, he's just on he works hard.
Yeah. How old is he?
He will be 24 in January.
Oh, yeah. Don't
He's
worry
got,
about
that's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, what is this, the 1930s?
You need to be married with 10 kids.
Yeah.
I would give anything back to have my dad back and working with him, no matter how many times we butted head. Once that's gone, it's like you don't understand that dynamic until it's lost. And
That's right.
But that's pretty cool. There's something to be said too about, I don't think you're giving enough credit to yourself about the way maybe he is an old soul, but you also raised him. So take a little credit.
Yeah. I stayed at home with my kids. I mean, I say I stayed at home. I mean, they've worked their whole lives, really. We homeschooled our kids. Clayton went through 1st grade of public school. Courtney went through 5th grade, and then we homeschooled the rest of the time.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we were kind of the opinion, if our kids can't do it with us, we don't really. I think the whole time we've been married 30 years, and I think while we were raising kids, we may have taken 3 trips in 30 years that, we didn't take our kids with us.
Yeah.
So
you're calling bullshit. So my kids the other day, they were like, there's a study and they said that people who take 2 vacations a year are happier. And I said, that's bullshit. But I couldn't refute it, of course.
Yeah.
But you would call that bullshit too.
well, I mean, we vacationed. We didn't like work.
Yeah,
all the
she's
time.
saying they didn't go anywhere without the kids.
Yeah, but I'm just saying we took our kid. I mean, we invested in our kids. I mean, not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with taking vacations and not taking your kids or whatever, or there's nothing wrong with people who have to work and, their kids are in school. I mean, there's not.
Vacations are very, very hard for me.
Yeah, we cannot plan. We don't plan vacations.
It's hard for me to turn everything off
And detach.
Right.
and detach because I enjoy everything that I do.
Yeah.
And that's like a vacation to be basically not every day, but to turn it off and get in a vacation mood is extremely hard for
And
me.
if you're loving what you're doing, it's not exactly work then either.
No,
Yeah.
no.
It's
And
not-
I
it's not
love to
hard for
spend
me.
time with my family, but it's hard for me to leave.
Yeah.
Very
But every
hard.
day's work.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, even if you're not working, every day's work, especially when you're a parent. I've learned that.
Yeah.
exactly.
I've never gelled with that definition because I don't. It's like, what's work? Like, we're defining work as
Being on the clock.
difficulty,
Yeah.
right?
True.
It's like, okay, well, that's tough.
Yeah. Typically, as after you're an adult, like every waking hour of your life is probably work.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking about it. You're plotting it one way or another. Your agenda focuses on longevity, success, financial success, whatever.
Yeah.
You're wrapping yourself into your work, whether you're actively or thinking about it or not.
So, okay, so would you say that through the bulk of your working life, quote unquote, scare quotes, have you been balanced?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. It's like work has been hard. That's tough.
I don't know about. Yeah, I mean it's hard sometimes. I mean it's.
But if I'm hearing Danny right, like he already has the balance. He loves what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's working, but he's loving it.
Yeah.
Isn't that the balance?
Yeah. It's like, why take a vacation from that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I'm weird. I enjoy working. I enjoy working lots and lots of hours. Now my age is creeping in on that a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know if you'd say work is like a drug for me, or a high for me, but it's just I enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I enjoy working. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that's one of my favoriteest things to do, but I just enjoy the work.
You don't enjoy idle time,
No,
from what I'm gathering.
I know. I do not like idle time.
Gotcha.
Yeah. What do you do with idle time? You sit on the toilet.
You
and play
host
an
a
iPhone
podcast.
game? Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's what you do.
You
sit
host
around.
a podcast. Right now, we're just keeping Danny from work. Speaking of, I think I told you this. We've got to start, picking up on some pig hunting again because now that those that river bottom's all nice, green,
can
and pretty
see where
with
they're
soft
tearing up.
soil,
Yeah.
the pigs are like, "Hey, thanks a lot."
Yeah.
So, we're gonna have to put some pigs in the dirt for sure.
Oh.
Man, I think that's all I've really got. Unless y'all want to add any more to it.
Oh, what's the meaning of life?
Oh yeah, we're back to full circle here. Can we answer that yet?
No.
I don't know. I think we can. I think Danny and DeAnn have given us some perspective on the meaning of life.
Work with your kid. No.
Do what you love.
Do what you love. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Do what you love and buy machinery with green paint.
Yeah.
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 If they stay in America.
I can go with that.
Yeah. If they stay in America.
I mean, it gets complicated. I could poke and prod at that, but I'm not going to
Damn.
because it's a pretty good saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do what you
Okay.
love.
Well, thanks guys for joining us
Yes,
tonight.
sir.
Thank
Thank
you
you for having us.
y'all.
Thank you.
y'all.
Interesting topics for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe a round 2 in the future.
Sure.
Yeah. If we want to talk about some chemtrails,
Yeah.
not contrails,
Yeah.
or some more conspiracy related
Oh, we
stuff.
gotta. Yeah,
that would
it's
be
like-
that would be fun.
Okay. We'll just do a whole conspiracy oriented episode then.
That would be a blast.
I guess before we break, you so you were part of a radio show, right?
Yes.
And y'all have had some pretty notable guests
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
But that's no more?
No, Charlie Smither is still doing it. It's called Political Winds. It's on Thursday night, and I was doing it, and I enjoyed it. I mean, it was fun. We did have some great guests. We had, of course, during the whole Andy Hopper and Lynn Stuckey.
Yep.
We had Andy Hopper on. We tried to get Lynn Stuckey to come on. I think, it was offered to him. And then also during the Slidell, this last Slidell school board, that was kind of a heated deal. All of those guys came on. And
School board stuff's always
yeah.
juicy.
So,
Always juicy.
Yes.
But yeah, Charlie does a really good job with it. I mean, he's
Okay.
really good with it. It's just I can't devote the time to it that I need to. So I mean, he'll call me every now and then, and he'll be like, "Hey, so and so's coming on Thursday night. I need you to come on." And I
Okay.
will, but I just can't. I'm not able to commit every Thursday night.
Where does one find this show or this radio station?
So
Truth Social.
yeah, no. Right now they're fixing. I think he's fixing to change it over to like a podcast.
Okay.
But it's dadgummit, it's Truth Radio. Truth Seeker Radio.
.com?
Yes, that's
okay,
what
so
it
it's
is.
a web address. then.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yep.
But it's
and
not
You,
at
and you
this-
can listen to it live, like actually when it's actually going on.
Yeah.
So it's like all live, but
That's the problem I think I ran into is it's not recorded and stored, is it?
it is.
It
So
is?
so you can get on the Political Winds on Facebook and like that page, and then
Yeah.
there's like links you can go to, and I think it's like 11 o'clock in the morning and like 7 or 8 or 9 o'clock
But
at
that's
night.
it.
It plays
You can't
twice.
just pull it up.
There's no on demand.
No.
Okay.
No. So,
Okay.
yep. That's how I got to know Andy Hopper before all of that election, and
Okay.
got to know him pretty good. So.
Cool. Andy's our guy now.
Yep.
Right on. We'll have to see how that goes. And
Yeah.
one of these two, probably him through the chief. I think we're probably going to get him on here. Have a
really?
good discussion.
Yeah,
with him.
that'd be cool.
That's the hopes, at least. I mean,
Yeah.
dream big, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We already have Lynn on,
he
so
would come
surely-
on.
yeah.
He would come.
Okay,
She can help with that.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
help you with that.
let's do it. Let's
Yep.
get him on. All right, guys.
Sweet.
More to look forward to.
Yep.
Conspiracies and state representation.
Hand in hand.
Hand in hand. Thanks, guys, for being here again. We really enjoyed it, and thanks for all that you do.
Thank y'all.
Putting food on people's tables and enduring the process and the love and the loss and everything associated with it. So
I'm
y'all
figuring out how to scale it.
yeah. Scale. There's
That's
that
no
word
small
again.
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are doing great work, and we thank you. We're glad to know you. I'm glad to know you for
Yes.
sure.
Glad to know you.
Yes.
So, thanks, guys, for listening. Good night.
Adios. Damn. 2 hours.
You've been listening to the Whiskey Bros Around the Table.
Gracias por convivir con los hermanos Whiskey.